Just a little bit of dungeon keeping. I've added a new module, which should hopefully work, which allows you to give things to other characters. So if you open your sheet and go into inventory, you'll see this little handshake icon to the right of all of your items. If you click on that, pretty self-explanatory, you can just select the character that you want to send it to, put in the quantity, and then offer the item. I think it might sort of work like a trade, so the other person has to accept it, and maybe they can also offer an item. I'm not sure. I think we used this module or a similar module in like a previous campaign, and then it ended up getting kind of messy and didn't work very well, and I ended up uninstalling it, but I can't remember why. So maybe we'll find out again soon. I've also added some proper downtime rules for hunting and foraging now, because I didn't really like how those ones worked. Well, I didn't really have any, I just tried to make it up on the spot. And like Vindaros, you ended up finding like almost nothing, which kind of makes sense because it's the middle of winter. So I don't think we'll redo it, but in the future, yeah, if you want to check these out, I've made it a bit more clear what the deal is. Everyone's had a long rest after leveling, because I figure that you would have leveled like at Verdalade. And so I've given everyone a long rest, so you've got all of your spell slots and features and everything back. Twig wanted me to say that she, also before she left, sorry, Anna wanted me to say that before Twig left Verdalade, he also ground up one of these strange red bones that he's carrying so that he can have some bone dust. And he also cut off a piece of flesh from his arm. Because these are the components for Animate Dead, which he is now preparing to cast. And I've also, just for your information, halved the cost of the Summon Familiar components, just because the economy is different in this game, and also because I've sort of changed the way that Find Familiar, aka Summon Familiar, works, so that it's like the Familiar is kind of more likely to die now in combat. So it just made sense to do that. But yeah. That's pretty much everything I can think of. Well, that's pretty much everything my notes tell me to say. And let's do a little recap. What happened in the last session?
I nearly toppled a tree on all of us. That did happen.
A giant tree castle?
Yeah, a trussle, if you will. But we returned the heart of the forest to Verdalade.
Killed the flower dude.
Killed the flower man. And we had a party.
Yep.
And
with fireworks, apparently. According to the soundtrack.
And we released the aberrant that was in the Grimbower. And that's definitely not going to bite us in the butts. So now we have 2 aberrants on the run thanks to us. Oh dear.
Yeah, gotta catch them all.
Like
this is kind of like Pokemon.
Yeah.
And you found an abandoned Urson settlement? Bearfolk settlement?
We did.
And it looked like there'd been conflict between the Suskin and the Urson there. Perhaps connected to the bearfolk who you met in the forest, who was trying to get healing supplies for someone. I keep forgetting his name. Stannis Branimir. And what else? You got some local knowledge from Elder Laguthia. And Reddy, you found out about
insider tips on where to find good quarterstaffs.
Yeah. Apparently they do grow on trees. And you did a little bit of shopping, a little bit of trading. Vindaros, you should have inspiration for thinking to create a smaller sword for Jefferson Jones.
That was adorable and a great use of a spare sword.
And Reddy, you should have inspiration for. I thought it was good how you, when the Rakkus started attacking everyone, you were on the other side of it and you couldn't see that it was attacking. So you didn't just like run into the fight. You kind of Reddy behaved as though he didn't know what was going on. I thought that was good. I thought that was worthy of inspo.
Wahoo!
And yeah, I think that's about everything. Let's do a dun 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 level up. Who wants to go first with these questions?
I'm happy to do it.
Okay, Yao Mei, what's changed on your character sheet?
Not a whole lot. I did improve his wisdom by 2 points. So we now have a +4 on survival, which is going to help us for navigation. But other than that, I don't think anything else has changed for me.
So what gave you the wisdom improvement?
I got an ability score modifier at level 6. So I was able to bring up something by 2 points. One of my core thingy-majigs, or I could bring 2 up by 1 point.
Really? At level 6?
Yeah.
Fighters.
Level 7's where I get the cool stuff.
Ah, fighters are different in that way.
Yeah, so next level I think I get more superiority die, I think I get more maneuvers as well, but that's, next level. So at the moment it's just ability score.
Interesting.
According to my copy of the player's handbook at least.
Yeah, cool. Alright. And how did you gain this new wisdom?
So
How do you explain it in terms of the story?
So I feel like his improvement there is mainly from his navigation, practicing that consistently and trying to get better so he doesn't misdirect the party, trying to keep track of where they're at, what they've been doing, where the next location is, and also studying the maps that he's found along the way, adding to the one that he got from, what was it, Captain Zaglo?
Yep.
Zaglo's map. But also these new ones that we've picked up more recently have kind of aided him in sort of understanding the location a bit more and navigation in a more general sense.
Okay. And what is motivating him to continue to be an adventurer or a hero?
I don't think he would consider himself a hero. I think he's just relying on his previous skills when it comes to protecting and wanting to continue that. And leading people in a bad direction, for example, would be a very poor example of keeping the group safe. Especially since we have nearly 200 refugees relying on us to do things and help keep them safe in the long run as well.
All right. So yeah, his motivation to protect and to not lead people astray is motivating him to wisen up on the map reading, navigating skills.
Yeah, and I'd also say that he's at least starting to develop a good bond with the people he's traveling with. He takes a while to kind of warm up. I think I know he's my character, but I almost get the vibe that he's starting to feel more comfortable being emotionally vulnerable with these people, having, been looked after by this group time and time again in various ways.
Yep.
And feeling that as we kind of learn each other's languages, we're understanding each other better, and between all of us, there's more of an agreed bond, even if it's not spoken.
Cool. Okay. And who wants to go next?
I'm happy to go next.
All right, Vindaros, what's changed on your character sheet?
Not much has changed with Vindaros. He's also, I would say he's been actually spending a bit more time to himself, just trying to channel and just trying to find guidance from Raka at the moment because he knows there's a great dread that's approaching. So I believe with that, he also is channeling this aura of protection. So now you might have a safer feeling around Vindaros. So that's what's changed.
Nice. He's just increasing in holiness, so he's actually got this like around him.
A calming presence. I would say a calming presence.
Okay. Yeah. All right, sweet. And how did you gain this calming presence?
Yeah, I would say with that, trying to just reflect and trying to connect with Raka. And just like some meditation. Yeah.
All right. And what's motivating Vindaros to be a hero or an adventurer?
Definitely getting rid of this presence, this darkness, which he had a vision which was sent to him, which is very unsettling on different levels, and not knowing what it is and how dangerous it is, as well as what he saw it do to the village. That presence needs to be stopped.
Yeah, he's definitely on a mission. Sweet. And Reddy, what's changed on your character sheet?
Not too much with Reddy either. I like to think that as they were moving through the Grimbower, Reddy got to have a closer look at some of these moving trees, and he thinks he's ready to sort of try and incorporate that into his own magic and see if he can do the same thing with mushrooms. So we'll see how it goes.
Is this fungal infestation?
Indeed.
I didn't realize that that the Circle of Spores druid was so kind of necromantic.
Yeah, no, he is. I think it is supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's their sort of origin.
You got Animate Dead as well as like part of. Was it
Yeah,
part
I
of the
borrow some
class?
bone dust from Twig. I think that's part of the class. It's one of the ones that you just get.
Nice. How did you actually sort of develop these spores?
I don't know. Like I said, I think it was just going through the Grimbower, inspecting those the tree spawn and some of those mushrooms that attacked us, and trying to study them and see how they moved and see how they worked. And he's got some ideas about how to, construct his own ones now with a healthy helping of magic as well.
I think he was actually taking samples,
took a few
especially in
mushrooms.
sort of incorporate them into your own spell culture,
Exactly.
Spore culture.
It's all about what you learn, what you take away from the experience. So.
A hint of stinky fish.
And what's motivating him at the moment to be a hero and or an adventurer?
The thought that there's a quarterstaff out there that holds all the secrets, everything he wants.
So definitely leaning towards adventurer rather than hero.
He's definitely leaning towards adventure. I know. Seeing all the people in Verdalade sort of ecstatic after getting rid of the Grimbower has definitely motivated him and kept him on the path of righteousness. He likes feeling needed. The other thing as well, I guess. Having that the Aberrant released, not so much released, but when he walked into the room and sort of got his mind attacked, it sort of reminded him of his own mortality, I guess. So he still feels the need to keep on getting stronger and not be so susceptible to these attacks from his mind.
Yeah, cool. All right. And so we depart Verdalade. And let me see. I want some, like, good travel music. It's sometime around mid-morning, and you're leaving Verdalade. You're sort of heading out of this town and heading back up this hill, where the trees become thicker, and moving into the in past the tree line, and it's very cool. There is a low wind blowing through this valley, rustling these trees as you climb to the top of the valley and enter the forest. And you're heading south through the Ghost Vale. You know that both the Spirit Tree and also Treehollow Towers is in this direction. And Vindaros, you just feel this powerful pull in the pit of your chest, in your stomach, that is just propelling you, or pulling and propelling you southward. And the tribesfolk, of course, went back to the castle with Jefferson, taking some newly purchased goods and tools with them, as well as some money that they'd earned, selling some of the things that they'd been making at the castle, which they brought to Verdalade. And you haven't traveled so far today, but you also haven't traveled in this direction. And as you head south, back into the forest, you do feel a little bit uncertain about where to go. Except that, Vindaros, you, as I said, feel this strong pull. And you almost feel that you also looked at this map, or you spoke to Elder Laguthia about the location of Treehollow Towers, and she noted that you were able to practically point to its location, just by sensing it. And so if you wanted to head in that direction, you feel you could almost follow this feeling that you have. But Retty, you also are pretty excited about this this potential source of a magic quarterstaff. So what do you guys want to do as you head into the forest?
First of all, Vindaros would like to give Retty... during our stay, I actually found these mushrooms, and I think you're the best person to maybe prepare some traveling snacks. So I would like to hand my mushrooms, my questionable mushrooms, to Retty. Let's give this a go.
It works. I hope it works.
Should be 4 of them.
4 magic mushrooms. Oh, these will go nicely, Vindaros. I'll put something yummy together. Do I think I could make these into rations? Or
seeing as you were able to identify them as magic mushrooms, I'll say no, you don't think so. I mean, you could potentially make them into rations, but they would be more for less
like
for eating.
Long-term storage is what I mean. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or are they already sort of? I mean, maybe their magicness helps to preserve them.
You feel like you would need to, maybe if you wanted to keep them for a long time, potentially dry them out or something like that. You might be able to do that, using the usual process that you use to make rations by applying salt and that sort of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, you definitely don't think these rations would be... They would be more recreational rations than... But yeah, which way do you wish to go? And what do you do while you begin to travel through the forest?
Definitely keeping an eye out as we travel, since we haven't been this way before and unsure of what the forest holds. So Vindaros will be particular with watching out for any dangers, any creatures that might approach.
Yeah, so you aren't able to see very far, but you can certainly keep your ears and eyes out, see if you can hear anything coming, see if you can see any movement through the trees. It's pretty sunny. There's sunlight coming through the canopy, creating this sort of stippled effect on the ground, on the undergrowth. And you can definitely keep an eye out. The roles that I have here, they're sort of default travel roles. Was that like, let me see. Yeah, Vindaros, you were previously scouting or keeping an eye out. Reddy, you were keeping an eye out, and Yao Mei was navigating. And at this point, you would need to potentially navigate to work out.
Yeah, actually, if you don't mind, I might change that because you did mention that I was getting drawn towards Treehollow as well, so it makes sense to navigate.
I was going to suggest
or assist navigating.
Yeah, I was going to say Vindaros take over navigating, and Yao Mei can keep an eye out, and then that way we're going in the correct direction.
Okay.
And still have that level of, visibility on what's going on around us.
All right. So, let me see, Vindaros, if you want to navigate that way, yes, just trying to find your way like through this forest in the direction you think it is, which is somewhere a little bit east of south, so a little bit southeast, but also just trying to kind of make your way through this forest. Maybe give me a survival check at advantage, just to see that you don't end up kind of getting caught in some landmarks and things. Okay. You feel pretty confident as you're leading the party in this direction to the south, and you can make your way through the forest. It takes you about 2 hours to travel 5 kilometers southward. And you don't encounter much. It's just this forest. You can hear the sounds of birds occasionally. It's pretty quiet because it's winter, and just this cold wind blowing. Not much else.
Vindaros also like to touch base with Ratty. I know there's a great evil, great darkness approaching, and you did mention that you're interested in this quarterstaff that could optimize your gifts. Would you like to take some time looking for it before we head further south?
As much as I would like to find this artifact, or something like it, I feel that perhaps that where we're going now is more dire. It sounds like these people need our help.
Okay. So we'll continue to travel.
Okay. You can continue moving through the forest. You feel pretty confident now. Which way do you go?
I would say possibly another directly south and then southeast.
Okay. It takes you another 2 hours to travel directly south. And it's now a couple of hours after midday. And the temperature's picked up a little bit throughout the day. And as you pass through this bit of forest, you actually, Yao Mei, you were keeping an eye out. You hear something. You hear some kind of like sound coming through the trees.
Is that Animal Crossing on my Switch? Okay, what direction is that compared to the way we're moving?
That is coming from the southwest, a southwesterly direction as you're beginning to veer to the southeast.
Okay. And if I focus in, is there multiple voices? If I sort of stop and listen for a second, do I hear a response to that? Or is it just sort of garbled noise?
Every now and then it's just this weird gobble gobble sound. And it doesn't take you very long to identify this as some kind of... I'm trying to think like what you would have seen in your past. It definitely sounds like some sort of small animal, maybe a cluster of animals, just sort of moving through the underbrush.
Okay. It still sounds very much like Animal Crossing characters talking. It's great. I'm trying to see what I have.
It doesn't sound like what it's supposed to sound like. I can tell you that much.
No, I think I know what it is. Okay. What I might do is, if I move towards it, does the sound kind of stop? If I sort of stop everyone and just kind of take a couple of steps in that direction. Wait a minute. Does the noise pick up again?
Yeah, it kind of stops, and you hear a little bit of something rummaging around in the bushes, here and there, and then maybe you hear some more of this strange sound, a little bit some way from where you heard it previously. And if you stand there long enough, you will eventually see what looks like a small bird, a turkey, walking through the forest, and you'll spot like another one just some way off from it. Just seems like a small flock of wild turkeys just moving through the forest, pecking at the ground.
I really want to try and get one, but I don't have it. I don't have like a bow and arrow or anything. If I this is gonna be really silly. If I launch one of my swords at one, do you think I could spear one?
If you try to get close enough to one to do that, how do you describe how you do this?
I'm basically gonna take my bronze scimitar, the one that's not currently on fire but could be if I wanted it to, and I'm basically just
the one we
like,
just fixed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna slowly step up. I have a second sword, guys. It's fine. Gonna step up slowly, take my time, and if I get close enough, I'm just gonna throw it like a javelin and see if I can spear one.
Give me a stealth check as you try to creep up to these wild turkeys.
Okay, this is gonna go so
without
great.
alarming them.
This is gonna go so great. Perfect.
You make some noise, crunching on some leaves and things, and some twigs. And,
I'm so sorry. I should have rolled that at disadvantage. I'm gonna roll that again.
Oh yeah, because of your armor.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, you make a fair bit of noise. Not only do you step on some twigs and leaves and things, but also your armor is sort of clinking and chinking. And the closest couple of these turkeys like look up at you like kind of like begin like scurrying, like not running, but sort of pick up their pace and begin kind of scurrying out of your path and sort of move further into the trees. You can, at this point, if you wish, try to lob your scimitar at one of them. I would say that this is like an improvised weapon. So give me a dex, like an attack with dexterity.
Okay. I do have an improvised weapon listed on my character sheet.
Yeah, you can just use that.
Great. So I think I need to use the versatile one, which is my ranged attack.
Oh yeah, is that actually going to... That's just the damage roll.
Oh, is it? Okay. So I'll have to roll a... Okay. Do you want me to just roll like a dex check?
Yeah, just make a dex check.
Okay. So good. I think I get one.
Yeah, no, you throw your scimitar. Is this scimitar flaming as you throw it? Okay.
No.
You throw your scimitar at this thing and it just on the ground unceremoniously and just kind of skids along the ground a bit and just like hits some bushes. And doing so scares off all of these turkeys that just kind of, then they do really pick up speed and run into the brush and sort of run off into the forest, gobbling as they go.
That's fine. I will unceremoniously retrieve my sword and potentially have to like blindly dig in the bush to grab it out. Maybe I accidentally set it on fire and like, oh fuck.
Start like a forest fire.
Vindaros just sees Yao Mei doing this. He's putting two and two together, like he's focusing on their heading in that direction. And he said, "Didn't you have a net for this scenario again? Like, didn't you have the bag net?"
I've got a net.
No.
I don't think that one's made for throwing. Yao Mei.
Oh, okay.
I don't think a Yao Mei has that
No.
backpack anymore, the net backpack.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure I handed that off to the traveling group potentially.
Yeah.
So I don't have a net anymore.
I think it's in the tribe stash somewhere. But yeah, Reddy does actually have an actual net.
I'll take it out and offer it to Yao.
I will kind of sheepishly go, thank you, and just accept it. Just put it in my bag. It's too late now.
The next up.
All right.
I tried.
What do you do next? You wanted to veer southeast?
Yes, please.
All right. You can do that pretty easily. Traveling through the forest takes you another 2 hours. And you've traveled for about 6 hours now today. And it's starting to cool back down again as the sun begins to head towards the horizon. And you definitely feel now that you are getting very close to your destination, Vindaros. As you head down this way, you almost get the sense that you're passing it somehow. Like it is. If you keep going in this direction, you'll miss your destination.
Overshoot it. Yeah, I was gonna ask, do we see any signs of civilization? Any smoke rising, fires lit?
Just looking through the forest, it's not. Yeah, you can't really see anything like that. You might need to get some sort of vantage point or find some other means of doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have Twig with you, actually, and Twig has Leaf, and Leaf could be sent to fly up over the canopy and kind of look around. I think actually it makes sense that Twig would do that, and so I think actually your Leaf is able to confirm by sending this sense to Twig that there is indeed something to the northeast. but there does seem to be something in that direction, and that aligns with the feeling that you're having that you're going to overshoot. It's kind of like as you're walking, you're like, well, I feel like we should be going that way.
Yeah, we'll definitely head in that direction. And I'm assuming that's the direction that Leaf's flying back in as well, so...
Yes. Yeah, Leaf would be returning from there as well. Okay, so you are able to head in that direction. Takes you another couple of hours. And you're starting to feel pretty worn out. It's been a long day of traveling through the forest. But as you come up here, you feel overwhelmed with this feeling, Vindaros, that you are nearly upon what you seek. And you do begin to smell smoke as you move up in this direction. And the trees thin out a little bit as you approach what looks like a large clearing. And you can move up to where the trees thin out to the point you feel like if you stepped any further you'd be spotted by anything that might be lurking around in this clearing. And you can look in there and you see something that looks familiar to you, Vindaros, because of the vision that Vrakar gave you. In this clearing there is a cluster of tall, solid-looking hexagonal wooden towers. Each of them looks like it has about 5 to 6 stories, and they're made of logs. And you can see it looks like people moving about in between these towers. And as you're looking in here, you even see maybe a group of individuals emerge from the tree line just to the east of where you are. And it's close enough that you can see that these are in fact Owlfolk. And they have their wings tucked behind them, and they are carrying between them what looks like a large animal that they've killed. These look like hunters that are returning from the forest, and you watch as they head into this cluster of towers. You are dead certain this is Treehollow Towers. What do you do?
Definitely ask Ratty for the pendant if he's still wearing it. Yeah, thanks. And head towards the gates that they entered.
So there isn't really a gate.
Ah.
But I guess just yeah, perhaps as you head in here,
yeah.
There's just some hills and things. It's a little bit hilly, and these towers are sort of growing, built amongst these hills. Some of them a little bit higher than others, just sort of nestled in this little hilly, open area within the forest. But you can just basically walk up. There's no particular perimeter, although as you do approach, you see some smaller treehouse type structures, smaller watchtower type structures, also made out of wood. Yeah, you can see that there's an individual or maybe individuals kind of standing in these watchtowers.
I'll definitely also communicate that to the party that this is what I saw from that vision from Vraka. This is the place that's in danger. So, let's do our best to find it and put it into this mystery. and will continue to proceed non-threatening. And if there's someone in the tower, gesture to them.
Yeah, as you
Yeah,
approach and
just-
you gesture to this person in this tower, you can also get a closer view of some of these other taller buildings as you get closer. Yeah, it looks like they have about they're about 5 to 6 stories high, and you can see all these wooden balconies with low balustrades sticking out of them, and that have these little wooden gates on these balustrades. And they're kind of just jutting out at each level, and they may be accessible from these circular openings that you can see. It's kind of like little owl houses all around these towers, and you can see like rope washing lines tied between some of these balconies. You see from where you're standing what looks like some individual rocking back and forth, perhaps on a rocking chair, a couple of levels up, and you can smell this smoke from this fire, and you see these hunters drag this this deer carcass into the center of the town. You can hear all this, like a fair bit of chatter as well, squawking and talking, and the occasional swooping of these owlfolk as they sort of swoop down from these balconies. You can indicate to this individual that is standing above you in this tower that's looking down, and you can see that this person is holding what looks like a bow and arrow pointed in your direction, and they kind of raise it lower it a little bit just to sort of look at you. You can, through this sort of small gap in this watchtower, you can see this feathered individual dressed in some kind of armor, leather armor or something like that, maybe with grey sort of feathers, and this little beak and these big like eyebrows. And this person will call down and say like, "Who goes there?"
I'll say, hello, stranger. My name's Vindaros, and these are my companions. We've been sent. We've been sent to assist your village. Can we have an audience with the leader?
Assist? With our village? What do you mean?
Correct. We believe it could be in great danger.
In danger? Hold on. Sort of disappears from the top of this watchtower for a moment. And after nearly a minute, he appears from from around the back of this watchtower. Obviously, he's come down the middle and come out a little opening, walks around. You can see this character more clearly. Has these big yellow eyes, and is dressed in this like leather armor, holding this bow next to him, and has like a leather belt with a knife or something. He's probably wearing like just some brown pants and no shoes, so you can just see these like taloned feet. Comes over to you, kind of looks at you all. In danger? What sort of danger?
That's a good question. We're here to try and work that out as well. We've had, so we do come in peace, and we're just trying to put together this strange darkness which might be blanketing your village.
He looks up at the sky. Darkness? It is getting a little dark.
True that. Is it possible if we could have word with the leader of the Treehollows?
Yes, I could take you to see the observer. Tell me though, how is it that you're speaking Stygian? You don't look like anyone I've seen before in these parts. We don't get many visitors. The four of you come in here, speaking Stygian. It's a little unnerving, talking of a darkness, a threat. Everything seems fine here as far as I can tell.
Yes. We're coming to assist the village and to warn your people. We're trying to work this out ourselves as well.
I see. Okay. Warn us. All right.
To prepare.
He sort of looks you all up and down. Well, I might have to get you to leave your weapons out here. Can't have you walking around with all of that stuff. Are you okay with that?
That is fine.
Maybe if you let me collect some of those, I'll actually just wait here one moment. I'll be right back. He kind of turns around and sort of scurries off into the town, looks back at you, sort of like check that you're still there, heads into the town. After a couple of minutes, he returns, and there are maybe like 3 other people with him. One of them is this white, very tall, white-feathered woman with a big spear, dressed in this impressively decorated leather armor, and even some kind of bronze helm, perhaps, over her head. And there's a couple of other, obviously, guard/soldier types with spears. And next to her is this caped Owlfolk, wearing this blue cape, walking very self-importantly, that approaches you all as well, and looks at you. He's got also white feathers. And he says, hello. I've been told that you are here to warn us of some kind of danger. My name is Observer Okari Tensum. I am the leader of this community.
Nice to meet you, Observer. My name's Vindaros, and these are my companions.
Nice to meet you.
We've just travelled from Verdale, where we've assisted them in retrieving the heart of the forest.
Ah yes, Verdale. I know of it. Good produce.
So hopefully it'll be back up on its feet and yes, back up for business very shortly.
Oh, I didn't know they had been out of business.
That's a story for another time. I'm actually here on greater importance. My friends and I are actually not from this land. We've been forced here, and we're strangers to this land. And upon our travels, I've actually had a vision.
A vision?
From Vraka as well, who's guided me towards your village.
Vraka? Two of these soldiers sort of make some sort of holy movement and kind of look amongst themselves. This this warrior kind of shifts her weight, sort of looks at you when you say Vraka. Akari's like, Lord Vraka? What? You had a vision? From the Lord Vraka?
Correct. Vraka came to myself during prayers and showed me images of your village. So that's why we're making our way here to hopefully have audience with yourself and to sit to discuss possibly what's going to see this the village.
He looks confused, or sort of stutters and looks a bit unsettled. He turns to this warrior and says, Sambrika, perhaps we should... This sounds like a matter for Alistair. Maybe we should... He turns back to you. If Lord Vraka, if this is true, what? Okay, come in. Welcome to Treehollow Towers. You should definitely join us. This is very strange. He'll lead you in to this town. It's like a fairly modestly sized town, but there's a fair bit of activity with Owlfolk moving about in here, cooking and sitting on their balconies, talking amongst themselves, moving various herbs and other forms of produce around. And he will lead you in here. There's like a big a platform, like a stone platform in the center of this town, where there's this big communal fire pit, and there's a whole heap of people around here. And you see, as he leads you in here amongst these people, there is this brown feathered Owlfolk who he leads you to, and this guy is like dressed. He has like a big pointy white hat, and he's dressed in this big white, in these white robes. And you notice that he, under this, perhaps he's dressed in like a white cape, but he has like black robes underneath. And you notice that around his neck there is this big medallion that, Vindaros, you are drawn to as you see this. And although this is like a symbol that you don't recognize, like Vrakar's symbol, you would have a symbol for Vrakar from your own land, and this doesn't look like that. This is like, it sort of looks like a sort of an angel shape, like a body with like wings, and a sort of a circle at the top, like a head. But it's also analogous of like a dagger at the same time. Like the body is kind of this, like narrows to a point. And this is this bronze medallion that is around this character's neck. And you, even though it's not the symbol of Vrakar, you recognize immediately, like, oh, this is clearly, you just feel it. This is clearly a symbol of Vrakar.
Yeah, because in that vision as well, that was that metallic symbol.
Oh yes, and that
from the village that he sent through. Yeah,
that would have been their symbol as well.
And
Observer Akari Tensum goes over and he says, wait here one moment, and goes and sort of grabs this priestly-looking fellow by the arm and whispers in his ear and like pulls him over to your group. And this priest kind of says, "Yes, messengers from Vrakar, you say?"
Yes, my name's Vindaros. Lovely to meet you.
He bows to you. My name is Alistair Puniji. I am the leader of rituals here at Treehollow Towers. Well, it is very strange that you say that you have come here at the behest of our lord, Vrakar. Vrakar is our patron god here at Treehollow Towers. It is very strange, very concerning that you say that we are in danger. Is that right? Is that right, Akari? Yes, I said something that we're in danger. Yes. Tell us more, please. Oh, well, perhaps we should sit down. He looks to Observer Akari as well. Oh, yes, sorry. Where are my manners? Perhaps you would like to sit down. Have you had something to eat?
Not yet. Not since morning. We've been traveling all day to, with haste to get here.
Please sit down. There are like these mats on the ground. Trying to think. They make a lot of things out of wood. Maybe there are also some chairs scattered around, but also lots of mats to kind of sit on the ground around this fire area. And you can see, maybe Observer Akari is like, yes, we've just caught. What do people say when they bring back? when they bring back like, what's the word? Like a catch, like the catch of the. No, that's when you catch fish.
Like back from the hunt type of deal.
Some of our people have just come back from the hunt. They've had a successful hunt. If you'd wait a little while, we were going to cook up some food for the town. We'll certainly have some to spare. Please, sit down and rest. We will bring you some. He turns to somebody nearby. He says, "Would you bring some water for these travelers?"
Thank you. Yes, Vindaros will definitely, sit down on one of the mats there. Did you say by a fire? There, by the fire? Yeah, by the fire. This fire is like probably already burning, and some of these Owlfolk are building it up to a bigger fire. And maybe this priest, Alistair Panigi, he grabs one of these chairs. I don't think you would have even seen many chairs in your time. I don't really know how common chairs are in Bronze Age societies, but anyway. He pulls over one of these chairs and sits down and says, "So, tell us more. Please tell us what danger Vraka has sent you to protect us from." So, we're actually, as you can tell, we're not from these lands. We've been taken from our homes, and we ended up on these strange lands, and trying to reach my god Vraka as well with my priestess. He appeared to me in a dream, and I saw the Treehollow. I saw the symbol, the metallic symbol that he's shown you, and he's also shown myself a graveyard just outside the town with possibly a series of markings or logs or sticks. Markings? Like possibly graves just outside the town. Yes, we do have a graveyard nearby, just over there. He points to the northwest. Is there been any strange occurrences of recent around the village? No. Nothing that I can think of. How was this? All good omens. We've heard some news that the Ecken to the east has there's been some changes there, some goings on, some happenings, some conflict, but our scouts tell us that we're quite safe here in the forest. That's good to hear. This warning from Vraka about this evil was coming deep below the ground, deep below that cemetery area, a darkness that was brewing. Do you know what this village was built on? Observer Akari Tensum says, "Built on? We have been here since the Great War with the Snake Folk over 200 years ago. We were here before that even. What do you mean, what is the village built on?" Well, sometimes over hundreds of years, new settlements are built on top of other grounds which might not be just say sacred. This great evil was what would you say, was living or breathing or waiting beneath your village, just outside of here.
When you say this, Sembrica, the warrior who has sat down nearby. No, perhaps she continues to stand with her spear. She kind of gasps. It is Suzesu. The priest and the observer kind of both like look at her. What? It is Suzesu. Prophesies to return. No, that's ridiculous. Yes, that's quite absurd. Suzesu was destroyed by the great paladin Talis Raddik over 200 years ago.
How was Suzetsu destroyed?
Well, in a great combat. Yes, a great combat with the paladin. This is the reason, actually, why we worship Vrakar. We lived here for a long time. Many, probably hundreds of years even before that. Before the Great War with the Snake Folk. But, one of our people, a powerful paladin named Talis Raddik, rose up to fight the Snake Folk, and he was a follower of Vrakar, the Protector. And, Vrakar led him to victory against the Snake Folk. And it was then that he destroyed the devil, Suzesu. And saved our people from them, and we have remained here ever since in peace.
I believe this is the darkness that I saw in a vision. Did Suzesu take the form of a snake folk?
Alistair's like, yes, some kind of snake devil, I suppose. But this seems highly unlikely to me. Suzesu was destroyed. We've heard nothing of it for hundreds of years. A vision, you say, from Vrakar, showing you this entity. Did it look like a snake?
It was a mass, a darkness. They were trying to find. Yeah, so it was an entity. It didn't have a form itself. It was similar to a spirit, which in the near future actually engulfed this town, this village, and let's just say that there was a lot of death.
And
how about?
Well, what do you intend to do about this?
Oh, that's part of our journey. That's why we're here. How about if we create a pyre to Vrakar, an offering, and ask for his guidance?
Well, I suppose, Akari looks to Alistair. His guidance? To do what exactly?
It's for clarity and offering, his protection.
He has protected our Treehollow Towers forever. We make offerings to him regularly, but you're welcome to yes, if of course you can make an offering to Vrakar here. He sort of looks back to Akari, and you hear one of these other warriors standing there. one of them kind of says like, "This sounds as ridiculous as the rubbish that old Melody Pembrich has been going on about." And the other soldier sort of laughs. That old nut. And Alistair says, what sort of ritual would you like to perform? I would like to, be involved, of course. This is a highly unusual.
Oh, no, it's more of an offering just to Varaka, saying that we've listened to him, we're here, and we're ready to do his work. Is there a building or a temple that you offer, that you pray to Varaka around?
Yes,
maybe
of
a statue.
course. Yes, we have a temple. He points over at this squat, wide, still a couple of stories high, and built in very much the same way as these other buildings. What did I say they were? Hexagonal?
Yes.
Yeah. This kind of like lower hexagonal building. That would be the temple.
Thank you. Maybe after our audience, I might spend some time putting together an offering for Varaka.
What sort of offering would you offer him? We would do ourselves a customary offering before we partake in the spoils of the hunt. But I imagine you are proposing something a little different.
I'm just trying to work out what Vindaros part of his offering would have been from his lands. Maybe I'll get back to you on that one. I'll get back to you on that. Yes, it's definitely strange times ahead. When do you see a Macedonian walking through Treehollow, and then he'll point out to like Twig and a canine, and points to Reti as well. Like, it is definitely strange times. So
they all nod. Indeed. Very strange. But we certainly don't take this matter lightly, seeing as you claim to be on a mission from Vrakar. But yeah, it's very strange.
This Melanie, what was she blubbering about?
Melody. The observer sort of looks at these soldiers, turns back to you. I wouldn't worry about her. She's lost the plot since her husband, Mardyn, died a few months ago.
How did he pass?
Just of old age. Had some kind of avian flu.
Bird flu. Okay. Do you mind if we take refuge in your town for a day or two? And
Alistair? Yes, I could set you up in the temple. We have some space there.
Yes, that'll be very much appreciated, and we're more than happy to help out around the village as well. So, yes.
They will, at this point, probably bring over some food for you to eat. I guess it would just be pretty much entirely meat. I think these guys are carnivores, so you might struggle a little bit with that. They kind of maybe they've made up some sort of stew with also like a big bone in it, bunch of meat on it. And they kind of come around and like offer it to you.
I'll say, do you have any sides besides meats? I'm sure my companions do love. It looks like they're quite enjoying this feast, but I'm more tends the herbivore route.
Unfortunately, we don't get many herbivores around here. We haven't prepared anything.
That's okay.
Sorry about that.
I pull out 2 herbivore rations from my pack and I offer them to him.
I brought some of my own. It's a great boy on the road.
Oh, very good, very good. And perhaps as the evening progresses, there is a lone Owlfolk that kind of comes out and sits on one of these chairs and plays a lute, and sings some kind of ballad. And a lot of these Owlfolk sit around and kind of gather around this fire and eat some of this meat stew. And Observer Akari sort of does the usual rounds, speaks to some of these people, and you can see them kind of sitting about telling stories and whatnot. Maybe they have some sort of alcohol that they brew as well, some sort of beer. They can give you a bit of that. You can definitely have anyone who eats meat, you can have your rations for the day. And I think you already had some water. But yeah, if you can have a drink as well.
I thought we would have also had our rations in the morning, breakfast rations.
Yeah, maybe you did.
Before I left.
Yeah, I think we did. So this is just extra food.
Second dinner.
Hey, we can eat twice in a day, right? It's free.
Yeah, you can definitely have your fill. And it's heading into the evening. The sun's gone down. Some of these Owlfolk are heading off to bed. Perhaps they do perform some kind of ritual. I'm also trying to think what that might be. Maybe just mostly a sort of a ceremonial thing led by Alistair Puniji, the priest. That just involves some spoken word and some, kind of holding up of a torch from the fire, and burning of some, like, what's it called, like smudging, like some incense and stuff like that. Nothing too intense.
Around this, as the evening progresses, was it Melanie? Be around?
Melody.
Melody. Is she in attendance?
How would you determine that?
The elderly lady which people are avoiding around the fire since she's talking or rambling on.
Yeah.
Or maybe just in general, just asking some of the other. That lady with the spear. What was it? The warrior. And conversing with her about Sisu.
Suzesu.
Oh, yeah, Suzesu.
Yeah, you can speak to her. She's kind of standing just at the edge of the firelight, sort of looking out into the surrounds. she nods as you approach.
Good evening. You mentioned a great battle that took place here quite some time ago.
Indeed.
It seems like it left quite a mark on the village. Has there been any... It looks like you're a soldier that travels these lands around the town. Have you noticed anything strange or weird particular happening? Strange occurrences?
No, nothing except for the
Okay.
conflict to the east. In the plains at the edge of the forest. But nothing around here.
What about the graveyard? Is this graveyard within sight of where we were before, or is it outside the village?
It's some way outside the village. Maybe you can see a bit of a hilly area that kind of rises up higher than parts of the village off to the northwest, with some scattered trees on it. The forest is a little bit thicker there, and that would be the direction of the graveyard if you were asked that you would be pointed in that direction.
I would even ask for. Is it possible if you could be our guide to the graveyard? Vraka sent me this vision of the graveyard, and it was beneath there that this darkness was growing.
Certainly, I can take you to the graveyard.
Do you mind if we head out now? Can we say like it? It's not too far. It's like within 20-minute walk, half an hour.
Oh, it would only be like 5 minutes away.
Oh, 5 minutes. Oh, easy. Vindaros will definitely signal to Yao Mei and Rachi that and explain that I think we should have a look at this graveyard. Vraka drew particular attention to this graveyard as well. Who knows? It might lead to nothing. We might find further evidence and help with the investigation.
Sounds good.
What better time to go to the graveyard than at midnight?
Well, it's not midnight. It's only about like sometime in the evening, around like the equivalent of like 8 o'clock, something like that.
I'll keep an eye on Twig.
Of course, you can wait until midnight if you wish.
No, it doesn't matter.
I actually think that Twig would be very interested to see the graveyard.
I was going to say Twig's already there.
But yeah, she'll lead you to the graveyard. You can approach this fairly wide hill with scattered trees on it. There's a wooden fence around it, rotten in parts, and this beautifully carved wooden archway at the base of this hill. And you can follow this little path. You can go through this archway and follow this little path up amongst basically these gravestones that look more... They're like stone obelisks of varying sizes, carved with various decorative patterns and the names of the deceased. And there are flowers here and there. Some of them still sweet, some of them decaying. And the earth is damp, and the wind is whistling through these obelisks. Maybe there are even some wind chimes hanging in a little archway nearby.
What's that soldier's name? I didn't get her name. I would have picked
my
up.
name is Sembrica. Sembrica Snaptalon.
Sembrica. And along the way, Vindaros will ask Sembrica, you mentioned that there was a myth or a law or that Suzesu would actually come back and rise again. What can you tell me about that?
She clears her throat uncomfortably. Yes, it's some of the... It's just a rumor. It's just something that's been said, that one day Suzesu will return. Generally it's not something that we speak of. And, Priest Alistair Puniji certainly doesn't think that Suzesu would ever return.
Yes. It's strange that... It's strange times indeed. Definitely.
It hasn't seemed particularly strange around here until you've showed up.
Yes. Is there anything in particular about this graveyard that I might be drawn to a certain area of the graveyard, or are they like mausoleums, or are they people buried beneath the ground, or is it a bit of both?
No, mostly just smaller, just these kind of small grave sites. There's no mausoleums or anything like that, just like obelisks, but like, ranging from knee height to waist height, or to chest height. Stone obelisks and some wooden structures that are also, just ranging also from just like a simple stick in the ground with some writing on it. Maybe some symbols of Raka here and there, but nothing large. Nothing that you could enter.
Okay.
No buildings.
I'll definitely also just reiterate to my companions that this is one of my visions, that Varaka sent me over the village to this area, to the graveyard, and beneath here, and that's where the darkness started to form.
Although in your vision, when you sort of travelled through the earth, you do recall that you travelled for some way under the earth.
Okay.
Maybe that just that thought kind of scratches at the back of your mind, but you don't really know what to make of it.
Okay. Is there a grave to that paladin that fought? I forgot the paladin's name.
Talis Raddik.
Yeah. Is there a monument here for him?
Sembrica says, no. The great Talis Raddik is, it's not known where he is buried. It's thought to be somewhere in these lands, but the location has been lost to time.
It was quite some time ago. Okay, thanks for showing us the way.
My pleasure.
Nice, do you have any idea? What should we do?
You could meditate. See if any particular direction is drawing you. I don't really know this stuff. That's my best guess.
True. Yeah, I might go back and pay homage to Varaka. And to let him know that we're here. Thanks for coming for the walk as well. Get some fresh air, some quiet time.
I often go walking about in this area after dark. It calms my nerves.
Okay, we'll head back, and Vindaros will like to make his way to the monument to Vraka. I guess once everyone's settled and doing their own thing, and just have a quiet moment. And he will offer some rations, because that represents life. And I think that's what he would have done back in his village as well. Whatever, like fresh fruits or food that they would have, he would have placed them in a bowl or a vessel and placed them in front of the monument.
Alistair kind of watches you intently as you do this, cocking his head to the side a little bit.
And yeah, he's happy just to take a moment in reflection.
What does Reddy and Yao Mei do during this time?
If you like, you can take the pendant as well.
I'm happy to leave the pendant, but I might just go for a little walk about the town. Trying to be as non-threatening as possible. I will hide the dread claw as best I can. I'm not taking the bracelet off. So maybe I'll just walk around like this and like trying to hide my gigantic hand.
Plenty of these Owlfolk sort of give you a bit of a sidelong glance as you walk by, but they don't seem too concerned. They've all been sort of whispering among themselves about these strangers that have arrived, apparently on a quest for Fraccar.
Yeah, so specifically on my lookout, I'm aware that this is the village that we've been warned about, some impending danger, so I might just be on the lookout for anything potentially happening that we need to note.
Alright.
Reddy might take some inspiration from Twig and start grinding down some of the chimp phalanges that he has.
Oh yeah. You still have that?
Yep.
From the immortal chimp.
Mm-hmm. It's time to bring him back.
Who knew it would come in handy? Hey, where is it? Where is it? I can't see it.
It's in my component pouch.
Ah, nice.
It's a set of 28,
Oh, yeah.
so I feel
Chimp
like I can
bones.
spare one or two.
Alright. As the fire burns lower, many of these people head off into their respective towers. And perhaps you do see an elderly-looking Owlfolk woman sitting on one of these wooden chairs, attempting to have some sort of. She looks like she's telling a story or something like that to some younger Owlfolk, some Owlfolk youth, and they get up and their parents lead them away. Perhaps sort of drag them away a little bit eagerly, and she kind of sits there on her own for a little bit, taking a swig at a little clay pot, staring into the flames.
Vindaros will join the whoever's left around the fire, and pull up a seat next to the older lady.
All right.
And just not say anything to begin with, just share that like moment by the fire to begin with.
She'll look over at you as you sit down next to her. She's a very small, elderly Owlfolk with like grey, stippled white feathers, and the sort of usual Owlfolk features, like big big yellow eyes and these big, extra long eyebrows. Big brown pupils and this little beak. And she's got these shoeless, taloned feet kind of stretch out before her. She's sort of like sitting back in the chair, sipping on this drink. And she turns to you as you like sit here. Hello.
Good evening. I'm Vindaros.
Vindaros. Nice to meet you. My name
Thank you.
is Melody.
Melody.
Pembrich, if you must know.
Nice to meet you. It's quite a lovely night this evening, isn't it?
I suppose so.
It's quite strange. Have you heard of the Heart of the Forest?
The heart of the forest? No, I can't say that I have.
Oh, okay. That's a story for another time.
I like stories. Anything to distract me.
My condolences. I heard that you've recently, or not so recently, lost your husband.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Poor Mardyn. He died a few months ago.
Yes, that's. I hope he lived a fulfilling life as well.
I suppose so. He was very grumpy before he passed. He's still grumpy now, if you ask me. He keeps me up at night with his grumpiness. Even after he's died.
In what way?
Well, she kind of looks around. He's haunting me.
But maybe he's trying to get a message across that he didn't have time to tell you before he left.
I think he is trying to get a message across. I've tried to speak to Priest Alistair about it, but he doesn't want to hear of it. They all think I'm mad, but I tell you, he won't let me sleep.
What's been bothering him?
Well, he doesn't like where he's been laid to rest.
Is that graveyard just any points the direction that he came from?
Oh, no, actually. Some way further into the forest.
Oh,
Under our favorite hill.
I was just about to ask you how he ended up there.
Yes, we used to like to go and sit on the hill past the graveyard and look out over the valley. And so, when he passed, that's where Mardyn wanted to be buried. Not in the graveyard. Also, partly, I suspect, it's because he was always a bit antisocial and didn't want to be buried among all the rest of those Owlfolk in there.
True. And what doesn't he like about that hill that he's buried at?
He's uncomfortable. He tells me so every night in my dreams. He wakes me up multiple times a night. I've tried to get Alistair to move him, but he refuses. He doesn't want to disturb the dead, and none of the rest of the villagers will help me either. They think that I'm crazy.
Vindaros just looks at Twig. If Twig's is in earshot. How does... Is it disrespectful to move the dead? For in the Owlfolk? Is there any...
Somewhat. It's a little irregular. But, usually, the body goes to the earth, and the soul goes to the sky palaces, the mind. But, in this case, I don't think he's been able to go to the sky palaces.
True. Did he say what's making him uncomfortable?
No, he just
Or where
wants
he-
to be moved. He doesn't communicate very articulately, you see.
Or where would you suggest he be moved to?
Anyway, I'm probably just in the graveyard, really, to be honest. I think he'll just have to deal with it. If he doesn't
Yeah,
want
maybe-
to be under the hill, then, well, it's the graveyard for him.
Maybe a corner of the graveyard that he can have his own little... some distance.
Ah, you're a sweetheart. Yes, that makes sense. That would be perfect. I don't suppose, you might help me move Mardyn's body, would you? You look like a big, strong lad.
Well... Just limbering up a little bit.
Oh, that's okay. We
We've
don't have to
seen
go now.
Yeah. We've definitely seen stranger things along the way in these strange times. My friend, look, he's very eager to help me move. He points to Twig to help me move Mardyn.
Twig's practically jumping up and down.
Yeah. Would you suggest a certain time in particular that would be best move? I think maybe in the cloak in darkness in the middle of the night will be the best, so we
Oh.
don't spook the other Owlfolk.
If you like. It might be a little bit difficult for me to find my way in the darkness, but
Sure.
I suppose so, if you insist. But I would, I mean, if you're willing to help me, I don't have much. I could, I have some old jewels I could give you. Some old, jewelry and things that, they're of no use to me now. I'm really, past the time when I could get any joy from such things, especially now that Mardyn is past. But yes, I will reward you with some old jewelry if you would help me move him. I would very much appreciate it.
Yes. Yeah. That is fine. There's no rush for that. That's all good. Let me speak to my friends as well, and we'll work out the best time to move Mardyn.
Okay. Suit
well,
yourself.
Does he have a plaque there as well that you'll like to be moved across? Or is
No.
it just...
No, just in the ground. I
Okay.
didn't want anyone to know where he was, in case they pissed on his grave. Well, that's what he said anyway.
Point.
He was paranoid like that.
True. Vindaros will, if there's anyone within earshot like Raddy or Yao Mei, he definitely flag them or wave them over if they're still around, and explain to him what the situation is with Mardyn.
I reckon Yao Mei's probably on his way back.
So what do you think? When do you think we should relocate the Mardyn?
I'd say a Yao Mei would be back by now. You can be asking a Yao Mei, seeing as Peter's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Well, if it won't cause too much trouble, maybe in the evening is probably best. Little bit of darkness, not too dark that we can't see or draw too much attention. Though I do have the sword. We can use torches.
Sure. Oh, we can use a torch.
We could definitely do. I wouldn't suggest going too late, especially for a lovely older woman. She might want her sleep,
Sure.
especially if she's been hounded by her late husband. She might need to catch up.
What time would you say it is at the moment?
Probably the equivalent of like 9 o'clock, something like that.
Oh, I think it's very doable. The other thing is we just need to work out how we're going to relocate Mardyn. from one grave to the other.
Are you saying this to Melody?
No. It's to
I suppose it depends on how many pieces she might be in at this point. Oh, sorry, he might be in at this point. Is he going to be falling apart? I mean, it is cold.
Couple of months ago.
Potentially. Might be
I bet.
cold enough to have kept them together.
I bet Twig knows a spell.
he can actually walk there. Twig can make him walk there. Lie down.
That could work.
That's actually not a bad idea, Twig. Twig's already doing it. Like, Twig's like, okay.
Let's do this.
Yeah, now, yeah.
Yeah. With the big eyes.
Okay. The other question is, I'm talking to Yao Mei and Raddy. I know we have to take Melody as well, but maybe she doesn't want to see that.
Maybe it would be good to have someone guide us there
Yeah.
and then to the graveyard potentially. But we could always keep her a distance away from the actual site,
Okay.
and I can try and distract her.
Okay. Would you like to go tonight?
Are you
Where you
asking
at?
me?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I
It's
I
about
don't
9
see a
o'clock.
problem.
No,
That would
I'll
be
clear my
fine.
schedule.
Okay. Vindaros says to Melody, yes, my companions will love to assist in helping Mardyn get comfortable and relocate him to the graveyard.
Well,
Would you like to head out since everyone's left the campfire for the evening?
well, I am a couple of drinks in, but yes, okay. If you'd like to go now, yes, I think I can find my way.
That's fantastic. We do have some torches if you like, or my friends. Yeah.
I've already
Yao Mei.
pulled one out and I'm like lighting one so that we have one ready to go.
I thought you said you pulled out your sword and it just ignites.
Oh no, I won't do that in the town. I don't want to cause
Okay.
alarm. I'll light a torch until we get out of the city limits, as it were.
I
Be
wouldn't mind
polite.
a spare torch if there's any around.
Yeah, I can light two. I'll take two out of my pockets, out of my bag.
Vindaros is happy to carry one in his trunk and walking side by side with Melody as well.
Yeah.
Like maybe like arm in arm, like you would help a elderly lady. You lead the way.
Oh, thank you. It's just this way.
She pulls herself up from this chair and lets you take her arm and sort of she's got this crooked wooden cane. She begins hobbling in the direction of the graveyard. And she'll take you to the graveyard and potentially through the graveyard up this path and down the other side. She's it's like still pretty spry for her old age. Spry is like a term that you only use when you're talking about like the dexterity of an old person. She leads you down the probably the other side of this graveyard, and you can follow her holding these torches into the gloomy night, into the forest. And
I will be keeping an eye out for danger as I pull out my sword and light it. Once
Okay.
we're far enough away from the town.
give me a perception check.
Okie dokie.
Okay. You kind of hold your torch out and peer into the trees. You don't see or hear anything as she leads you through here, and you probably have to walk for maybe only another 5 minutes after this graveyard, and up this other hill. There's a small path leading up the side of this hill that's far less traveled than the path in the graveyard. There's roots sticking out and have to push through ferns and things to go up there. And as you climb up to the top of this hill, you have to move very slowly to wait for Melody to climb up as well. And you reach this little clearing at the top, just where there's this sort of patch of earth between some trees. And you can see in the moonlight and the starlight that this location has a pretty good view back over Treehollow Towers and the hills in this area. And she begins sort of moving about and kind of tapping the ground with her stick. She's like,
Yes, it's somewhere just here.
and after a moment she's like,
Yes, this is where it is. This is Mardyn's resting place right here.
What a great view.
Yes,
Now, I understand why.
you should see it in the daytime. It's lovely. We used to come here as young Owlfolk, when we were just getting to know each other.
Ah, what great memories. I just want to make sure that we have your permission to dig up Mardyn.
Oh yes, please do.
Okay. Okay, guys. Ready to go. Can Vindaros use his shovel? Here, he brought a shovel from Verdale.
I was about to ask if you still had it.
And I've got a pick. I don't think we need the pick yet. I think it's just dirt.
awesome.
Well, how solid is the ground is the question.
It's fairly soft. It's not too solid. It's not going to cause you too much trouble to dig into here. But maybe the pickaxe would help, at least with the time that it takes you. But otherwise, if you don't want it to spoil, you can certainly sort of just begin digging in with the shovel.
Yeah, not too aggressively.
Vindaros, when you put the shovel in for the first time, like, you just get this flash in your mind of the entity that you saw. It just flashes through your mind. You don't know if it's a memory or if you're seeing something, but it happens just as you put this shovel into the ground. And Melody's like,
What is it? Are you okay? It's not gonna dig itself, you know.
Yes. That's okay. Sometimes I lose concentration. I get distracted as well.
Should I lead her away so we can dig? Just in case she sees something she shouldn't.
Yes, you can take a few meters away.
Okay, I'll gently sort of steer her and just
Hey, what?
Gently
Where are you
beckon.
taking me? What are you doing? Let go of me.
That's
like,
okay. We just
looks between you and Vindaros.
I'm sure Yao Mei's comforting her.
try.
Maybe Yao Mei, have a seat and rest up with Melody and overlook the town while I continue to dig.
I wish to see if if your progress. I want to see what's going on.
If she... Okay, that's not going to be a pretty sight. And Vindaros will continue to
Well,
dig.
he should be in a coffin. It's only been 3 months.
Okay.
Then I might leave her alone and just sort of apologize, and then I'll use my Dreadclaw to help try and dig some of the dirt out. See if I can like scoop it.
Or maybe combination of pick and shovel. Loosen and then shovel it out.
Let me think. I'm actually thinking like a coffin, now that I think about it, is probably unlikely. I think like, let me see. In the Bronze Age there would have been like just a lot of
It's mostly just burying people in the dirt with maybe a few possessions from my knowledge.
yeah, maybe with some rocks on the top of it. I mean, like a lot of the time you would have just been
it'll be like linens and so forth like that.
yeah.
So I think maybe Owlfolk would... Oh no, this is just my image of it. Would have like a woven type of like nest, like to wrap up their dead,
Yeah, I like that.
like they were born.
Yeah, maybe they're sort of wrapped up in some linens and the stones are kind of put around them. But I think like usually in the Bronze Age you would actually be
Cremated.
cremated. But I think in this case they these Owlfolk, even though they're people of the air, they believe that their bodies go back to the earth. So yeah,
And their spirit soar.
so yeah. She wouldn't say there's a coffin, but she would just say something like,
I've been around a very long time. Nothing can shock me now. Anyway, I want to see if Mardyn is still there. He's been complaining, wanting to move so much. Maybe he got up and moved himself.
Shortly.
strangely, as you're digging, kind of creating this like pile next to this hole, digging down. You don't have to dig for too long when all of a sudden, out of the dirt, a taloned, rotten, clawed hand goes and grabs your ankle. And I'm going to take us over to a battle map. And I'll chuck us all down here.
Wait,
Who
not
wants to-
yet.
And it's not Twig. And who wants to control Twig? Angelo?
Oh yeah, I'll go for it. That's fine. Maybe we could run to the graveyard, and Mardyn can follow us to the graveyard.
And I never really
And
have-
leave Melody behind? What is wrong with
let's
you?
go, Melody.
I like it.
that can
Survival of the
represent
fittest.
Melody. I don't really have like an old lady Owlfolk. Put yourselves where you feel you would be. I guess
Yeah.
Vindaros, you're
We'll
kind
be
of
over
like,
Wait,
Like-
is that?
well, you'd be like
Mine?
in like a hole. I'm thinking, right? Like you're kind of sort of digging down in this hole.
Ayami's helping like scoop loose dirt out as well. So he's probably helping out the same
Sorry, I
thing.
thought the Owlfolk was actually Mardyn.
Whoever's grabbed onto
It's
your leg.
Melody.
No, that's just Melody.
Twig's definitely looking in for sure.
And maybe like this is this is sort of where the hill. Actually, it would probably be even closer than that. The hill kind of gets pretty steep here. There's a few little trees around. And as you pull your leg away, well, what do you do? This hand grabs your ankle, and actually, maybe I'll put us into initiative.
Yep.
And Let me see. Where is... This is Mardyn. Mardyn's face. He begins like pulling up out of the ground. You just see his face emerge from the dirt as he looks up at you with these cold, lifeless, partially rotten eyes. I'll roll for Leaf as well. Twig's bat is just flying around. As this creature begins to try to pull itself up your leg. Vindaros, what do you do?
Vindaros is like, Marty! And like, kick him off if he's trying to... Stomp! He actually used his stomp.
Okay. Melody is like, obviously like shocked and dismayed, and takes a step back as you stomp on the face of what everyone has assumed is Mardyn. So go ahead and give me a stomp. Yep, that definitely stomps. All right. Your foot just goes into the face of this creature and just like crushes half of its skull, but it continues with its like kind of its beak all like mangled and part of its face collapsed. It continues to like pull itself up you. Do you do anything else? I'm gonna say actually that you're grappled.
Okay, I would say that's... Okay, that'll be my first attack, the stomp. And the second attack will be because he's holding the shovel, like hit him with the shovel.
Okay. I feel like he's not going to get an opportunity to do very much.
So...
He's just like trying to like peck at your leg with this half mangled beak.
I'll just use an unarmed strike because it didn't have an attack thing. But it's with the the shovel.
Yep, that hits.
I'll go back to the shovel damage.
Okay. You put the shovel like right through its remaining eye. And it just like kind of shakes and like falls back on the ground. And it's kind of lying there like half out of this grave, kind of killed on its back, and it's like twitching.
He's definitely restless.
I don't think he is anymore.
What does Leaf do?
Leaf.
Does anyone do anything?
If it doesn't move anymore, then no.
Yeah, I would say Vindaros will get out of the hole. Oh yeah, sorry.
It definitely releases you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I will. Well, we're still in initiative, so does anyone want to do anything on their turn?
No, not in particular.
Okay. If nobody does anything, you can pull yourself out of this hole, pull yourself away from this hand that is kind of released from your leg. This creature is like kind of still twitching a little bit. It's with this caved in skull. And Melody is like,
oh my goodness, is that you, Mardyn? Oh dear. I was only joking about him getting up and walking around. This is absolutely crazy.
And Vindaros, as you begin to pull away and sort of back up and try to pull yourself out of this pit, you're still holding the shovel. your shovel actually hits something in the bottom of this hole that you've dug. Some kind of like piece of rock. This sound sort of rings out across this area. You just hear this scraping sound. And when you do this, you once again get this flash of some sort of hateful, dark energy in your mind. But otherwise, you can pull yourself out of the hole.
Yeah, I think Vindaros is definitely going to pull himself out of the hole, collect his thoughts. And
Move him where you think he would go.
oh, he'll just move out like one square, like just out of the hole like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and just, I'm just trying to think, have we seen anything that's besides that chimp with the purple eyes? We haven't seen. Did it have any anything in particular about Mardyn, like that chimp? Its eyes were glowing a bit. I think it was purple.
Yeah, no, its eyes weren't glowing.
No.
It doesn't remind you of that chimp in that sense.
Yep.
It seems just lifeless and rotten.
Yeah, he'll definitely say to Melody that I guess that's the reason why he's been restless. It looks like that some evil's afoot here, and I think we have to get him to holy grounds for him to rest.
As you say that, he begins to twitch and utter these strange gurgling sounds and kind of begins to sort of move again and try to claw himself out of this pit. His whole head is just like mangled and practically like hanging off. But there's just like enough of it for it to like kind of straighten up its spine and like begin like pulling itself up. And it sees a Yao Mei as it does this and kind of reaches out for Yao Mei as it's like pulling itself out of this hole. And as it pulls itself, a lot of the dirt in this hole begins to sort of kind of fall into the space where it was. And this hole is almost like a sinkhole. It kind of sucks up like a fair bit of the dirt, a lot more than you would expect. And as it does so, you can see below that there are some of these rocks and things that would have been placed around this zombie. And you can also see that it's, well, it wasn't a zombie at the time. Poor Mardyn. And you can see also it's got this cloth that it was wrapped in that's like partially rotten and torn as it's pulling itself out. And you also notice among these rocks that there is a very large stone that is revealed that looks like it's a little bit to the north where you've dug this hole. You've dug this fairly reasonably wide hole because Melody wasn't exactly sure like of the precise location of Mardyn. You can see this like really big stone in there that you think you scraped your shovel across previously. And it looks kind of older and almost a bit corroded and different to these rocks that have been placed around this creature's resting place as it pulls itself up and begins reaching out for a Yao Mei. And so it is Leaf's turn. What does Leaf do?
Good question. I'm just trying to.
Oh, you wouldn't have control over Leaf. My bad.
Yes.
Hold on, let me do that.
You might know this answer. Can Leaf fly in
There you go.
to assist and fly out without getting an opportunity attack against?
So in order for it to do that, it just needs to beat the creature in a dex contest.
Look, at the moment, I'm gonna just let Leaf just circle around just to
Okay.
keep an eye out on anything else if there's any other zombie creatures.
All right. What about Twig?
Twig's gonna firebolt. Twig will see it twitch in and just like build up this energy, just firebolt it straight away.
Okay. Nice. This firebolt strikes it in the back as it's climbing out of this hole and reaching towards Yao Mei. There's no need to even roll the damage. This thing goes up in flames and it's like kind of thrashes about and like falls back in the hole and kind of goes still again, but continues to like twitch while it's lying there. And you think, although it seems sort of incapacitated for the moment, that it's still you're not certain that this is finish it off entirely.
I think that's it for Twig. I'm not sure of any. Yeah, I think that's it for now. I'll just have a quick read.
Okay, ready.
Ready will cast Shillelagh.
All right.
My mouse is being a bit broken, but he would like to move over. Oh. He's just going to move closer to Melody, and ask Vindaros, are we still moving him?
Okay.
Is that Mardyn?
Well, where did you want to move? Sorry. Ready?
Sorry, I reloaded.
Okay. Yao Mei.
I'm so sorry, fireworks have just started here if you can hear them.
All good.
What I'd like to do is, this is going to be really silly, I'd like to jump into the hole
Okay.
if I can, just straight down, and I'm going to use my Dreadclaw, which is the only weapon I have that's actually out and on my hand, and I'm literally just going to like skewer it down through like, I don't know, maybe like, what's the thinnest part? Yeah, maybe just like through its like crushed head. See if I can like pin it down with like whatever's remaining of its skull.
Okay.
Try and pin the thing.
To grapple it?
Yeah, sort of like a grapple. Just to
Okay.
keep it down.
We'll say that you can just grapple it. You have it grappled. It doesn't seem to resist, although it's still twitching.
Cool. And then I will pull out my sword for an attack. If I can.
Yep.
And I will try and... I will light my sword with my bonus action. And I'm going to try and attack it with the sword to try and stop it from twitching.
Okay.
Maybe put Martin out of his misery. Nope.
That does hit it. You're able to slice into its back.
Oh, hell
And it,
yeah.
like,
Okay.
Alright, you just hack into its rotten flesh, and it sort of, again, like, emits this disgusting gurgling sound and then sort of just lies there, twitching. Vindaros.
Ready, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Mardyn, and we definitely got to move him still. But Vindaros will like to move into that position and smack him with the shovel again, if it's still alive. If Mardyn's still
It is still twitching.
still twitching.
You can have
Okay,
advantage, it's definitely prone.
Cool.
Probably should have given an advantage to a Yao Mei as well. That's a definite hit.
Actually, maybe I should use the shovel.
Okay. You can just like, again, just like smash it. you still don't feel like you've stopped it from... It still has some kind of strange life in it.
Okay. So in this case, Vindaros is going to use a bonus action.
Okay.
For his next attack. And that bonus action is going to be Divine Favor.
Alright. What does that do?
Cast It's just additional
radius.
1d4, but it's radiant damage.
Okay.
And he'll attack him again with the shovel.
Alright.
Sorry, just do that first. Hits.
It's interesting. I thought that I was not understanding something about this feature, and I've realized now that I wasn't doing it properly. But it's kind of cool anyway. Yes, as you charge up your weapon with this radiant energy, and you strike this thing, this flash of light goes off, and this your wait, what are you striking it with? Sorry. Oh, just a shovel. Radiant shovel.
Yeah, radiant.
Yeah, this shovel just goes straight into its body, and you see this glowing white energy kind of radiate out across its body, and it it kind of twitches one last time, and then finally falls and collapses, motionless. And now you are quite certain that you have ceased its activity. And what I didn't realize was that this undead fortitude only has one use. So so it should have died after the first hit. Just so you know, I did that incorrectly. But it was kind of fun anyway. Because you had to pull out this holy move to take it out of its misery. Having said that, do you have a certain number of uses of that feature?
It's a spell slot.
Give yourself back a spell slot if you like. We can say that you did that, but you felt a little bit more empowered by Vrakar this time to use that spell, that energy, and even after doing it, you still feel fully empowered with mana.
Okay.
Because...
Sounds good.
Yeah, it would have definitely been killed otherwise. Let's go for a 5-minute break. As this thing falls lifeless, good. And Melody's like...
Is he alright?
This poor woman.
He's better than what he was.
Oops, wrong scene. He's better than what he was.
Her poor husband's died twice now.
I knew he was restless, but jeez.
Oh god, I feel bad.
You need a recap, Anna? Or good? Adrian's giving me the download.
Adrian's giving me a gist of what's been happening. So I know at the Owlfolk village, we've dug up a guy. He's turned into a zombie.
Marty, yeah.
Marty.
Mardyn. We're planning to relocate him to the actual official cemetery.
What is he buried in now? A non-cemetery?
He's on the hill overlooking the village, which actually is quite nice outlook.
The feng shui here is quite good.
Yes.
Well, except for the whole zombie part, that was a bit weird, but...
We sort of had an idea to possibly reanimate him to walking back to the official graveyard, so we don't have to carry him. But I don't know, after what we just saw, I don't know if it reanimates actually on point.
If that'll be the ticket.
Melody kind of steps over here and leans down to inspect the corpse of Mardyn.
Oh, terrible. Just terrible.
Yes, definitely was restless. and hence wanting to, hence not comfortable. Yeah, I think he was definitely trying to reach out to you.
Restless.
Well, perhaps we could, would you... What do you think is best?
She looks like pretty shaken. She continues to shake. She's kind of trembling a bit.
Are the linens that he's in, are they torn? Can we use those to carry him back?
They're pretty torn and half rotten.
Okay. I would say...
It looks like he's maybe been clawing at them in the ground.
So we gotta move him.
Yeah.
We're gonna move it. Oh.
We could use AMI's net to carry him, maybe.
Yeah, he might fall through the net. We might drop off parts of him on the way. Vindaros is happy to use his bedroll.
Okay. Gross.
Gross. He's gonna burn it. He's gonna ask Twig, can you, like, when we get back, you might just throw in the fire, you might just buy another one. Or,
What? Oh, why?
if you want to trade or swap, you can use it if you like.
Yeah. There's no problem. Don't want to waste a bedroll.
True. Going back, you mentioned when Yao Mei was here, there was an older type of rock on the floor. And Vindaros actually hit a rock, and he had the flash in the grave. Those rocks, they seemed older.
It's just one... So there's the stones, the small stones that have been placed around the corpse of Mardyn, which as you've sort of reached approximately where he was buried, you can see some of these sort of have been, shifting and whatnot in the earth. But because, again, you've sort of dug a fairly wide hole because Melody wasn't exactly sure of the precise location, you've hit some sort of larger stone. It looks very different. It's just this big, heavy stone under the earth that's just slightly further into the hill.
Is there anything in particular about, like, any engravings on the stone? Or it's just, like, does it look like it's been placed here, like it was a structure beforehand?
When you have a closer look at this stone, you do in fact notice that it has some pretty thoroughly deteriorated, but it looks like there are some carvings in it, some pattern or something like that.
I would definitely point that out to Twig and ask him, does this make any sense to you? Do you recognize these ruins or their language or symbols? Twig puts on his glasses.
Can Twig have a look and use his big eyes?
You don't need to make a check. It's very difficult to work out. It doesn't look like script so much as just some kind of design, some sort of pattern or something like that. But it's really worn away. It's hard to make out what it is, but it definitely looks like something has been carved into this big stone.
Does the stone have any other sort of shape to it, or it's just round?
You'd have to dig around it to kind of see. It's just it just actually is not so much round as it just looks like this long kind of rectangular stone that disappears into the earth on either side and below. So you can't actually see the size of it or the shape of it from what you've uncovered.
We might leave that for now and come back to that.
All right. we should try transport this body, eh?
Yeah, so Vindaros wants, if you want to wrap this body up, you can do that pretty easily. It's pretty light, and you can pick it up, and you can all lead Melody Pembrich and carry her doubly dead husband back down the hill and back through the graveyard and back into the village. Or no, sorry, was the plan to just probably just take
Straight to the graveyard.
Look what we found. All right, so you take him back to the graveyard, and she's sort of shaking her head the whole time, and also apologizing, and also like just seems really rattled.
Oh, I don't know what to say. Thank you so much for doing this. Oh, who could have known? Who would have thought?
Don't you worry. Happens all the time.
Does it?
Yeah, but maybe. I imagine it could.
Oh, I presume you have the pendant.
Oh.
She's like,
That's right.
All the time. I've never heard of such a thing.
That's good. That's good. It's certainly very unsettling.
But why would it happen now to poor old Mardyn? He was a bit grumpy in life, but he didn't do anything to deserve this.
I'll translate to the others.
Twig, I think it definitely has to do with the darkness.
There's a
sense beneath.
dark cloud upon
Below.
her eyes widen. You're kind of scaring her a bit.
Oh. And this dark...
You should be scared.
this Dark... Oh! Well, it's a good thing you're here, I think.
That's right. It's a good thing we're here in Vindaros.
Ah, yes. Maybe she can have a good night's rest now that Mardyn's within the graveyard, that he's been looked after now, and his spirit can soar to the gods.
Where are you going to bury him? Do you mind if I see? I would like to know.
Where we're gonna bury him?
Maybe here. This looks like a nice spot by this tree, some way off from the others. But maybe we shouldn't have him too far off. He might get up to his tricks again. Probably best the others keep an eye on him.
Maybe she might like to say some words as we bury him, or...
She sort of stands there muttering and thinking to herself as you're digging another hole on the edge of this graveyard by this tree. She's like,
Mardyn, it was lovely knowing you, and I hope that you can finally have the peace and the quiet that you deserve, that you always wanted. I still love you, and I'll see you in the Sky Palaces.
Oh.
Soon enough.
It's very beautiful.
and you can bury him here, and actually as it approaches midnight, it begins to do something weathery. Let me see what that is. It begins to rain, and at first it's just a sprinkle of rain, but it begins to to become heavier and heavier. And you think it's somewhere in the middle of the night, as this rain is getting pretty intense and begins to pour down as you're finishing up, returning the earth over Mardyn's body. Maybe you can sort of find some more stones and things to place around his body, burying him here, and yeah, you start to get drenched as you're standing around the grave, and Melody is shivering.
Well, I think we should get out of this rain.
But yes. Have you said your farewells?
Yes.
Very good. Shall we head back, guys?
Yeah,
Sounds
she'll
good.
eagerly lead you back down the path and through the gate and back into the village. And she says,
Well, anyway, I don't know what to say, but perhaps if you come by, I just live there. On the third level up. If you come by tomorrow, I'll give you a reward. I said I would. Anyway, have a good night. Thank you again.
she just looks still rattled. She turns and hobbles off on this rickety wooden cane and disappears into an opening at the base of one of these towers. These hexagonal wooden towers.
That was pretty intense, guys. I'm just gonna say.
I hope she sleeps well now.
It'll be the best night she's slept in a long time.
I hope he stays asleep this time. Wouldn't want him causing a riot at the graveyard.
So yeah, why was he coming awake? The darkness.
Not sure why. Like earlier on in the village, they had no sense of any danger lurking. The observer and the priest, but we definitely know something's astray.
Maybe there's others like him. Dreadful in their sleep.
There was one other soldier that was talking about a great battle that was fought here, which they built the town over. And one of the paladins fought one of the evil entities and won the victory for them, and that's where this town's built over. But that was a couple of 100 years ago, at least.
But the evil entities. What happened to them?
Those snake folk.
Oh, I see. That's right.
The snake folk had apparently summoned or were doing the bidding of some kind of snake devil called Zuzesu. And the Owlfolk paladin Talis Raddik is said to have destroyed Zuzesu and defeated the snake folk, with Vrakar leading the way, or inspiring the way.
And I'll definitely I let the party know that when we were on the hill and we started to dig and hit that stone, that we did have a sense of that flash of that evil overcome myself in that moment prior to Mardyn reawakening.
Should we go back to inspect that stone?
So it's midnight and you're standing here in getting drenched in the rain, just in the middle of this now empty village, just near the pyre in the middle of town.
Do we know where accommodation is? We'll make our way to like the hall, or
Yeah, so the temple to Vrakar is only a few meters away.
yeah.
Just some way from the central area.
Yeah. Vindaros is eager to head into the temple to get out of the weather and call it a night.
Yeah, if you head over to the temple, it is similar to these other towers, hexagonal structure, but squat and wider, maybe only 2 stories. And there's an arched doorway at the base that is maybe covered by a like a wicker door, and you can call into there. And after a few moments, probably it's a pretty small town, so I think just Alistair himself would appear, no longer dressed in his like white and black priestly robes. I guess he's just kind of dressed in a simple tunic. He'll sort of open the door.
You've returned. Would you like to stay here for the night?
Thanks. Thanks, Wick. Yes, please, Alistair. Some refuge from the weather and night's rest would be more than welcome.
Well, do come in.
He'll lead you inside, and this room is split into this building is split into a couple of smaller rooms, and there are some stairs leading up to the top level as well. But he will show you into a room in the back that he explains is kept for travelers and visitors. There's just some hay in here, maybe some just a basic kind of a setup. Perhaps some blankets and some pillows and things like that. Enough space for like maybe about 5 people to sleep on the ground in relative comfort and dryness. And he will kind of wish you good night and head back into his quarters upstairs and say that he'll speak to you in the morning. And so if you don't want to do anything else, you can have a long rest, which I don't think anyone has like done anything or used anything. But you can all learn another language, another day of languages. Twig, you must be getting close now.
I'm on 3.
3 left. And I don't know if anyone wants to identify or anything. We did a lot of sleeping in that last session. So if you go to bed at around 12, you can wake up at 8 in the morning again. Nothing happens in the night. Or anything else. You've had your rations for the day. Yeah, and so you can wake up the next day, sometime after the sun has risen. And actually, let me just see if anything is happening on the calendar. Interesting. So actually, before you finish your long rest, maybe only a couple of hours after midnight. Let me go back in time a little bit. It's still raining, and you are... maybe whoever has the highest perception, so probably I think that's Reddy. Yeah, Reddy, you are woken in the night by a sound, and you can hear this commotion. It sounds like people talking and shouting in the village. And it's still raining outside. But yeah, you can hear something going on.
I'll wake Vindaros up, because I know he's got good ears. And say, I think something's going on inside. Who's got the pendant? Someone does, aren't they?
Vindaros said it. Oh,
Okay,
last. Yeah. Oh, yeah, what's up? Ready?
I think something's going on outside.
Okay.
Can you hear anything? Maybe we should go take a look.
Actually, shit, sorry, I fucked up the time again. This would actually be a little bit later in the morning. So the sun is just coming up. Yeah, sorry, everything else is the same.
Can Vindaros have a listen out to see if we can work out what that noise is? Where it's coming from? Where it's coming from?
You can just hear... it sounds like it's happening only a few meters away. It's in the village. You can hear people sort of conversing loudly, some urgent sounding conversation.
Yeah, let's go down and have a look.
I'll wake up the others.
So it's probably... yeah, so it's just before sunrise, and so you haven't yet had a long rest. But so that's all right. I mean, oh no, it would matter because you could become exhausted, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you can rouse yourselves and you head out through this wicker door at the base of this temple to Vrakar, and as you step into the village, the central area. Let me just have a look. Let me read this thing properly. This thing that I've written for myself. Yeah. As you come out into this this central area and look around, you can see several Owlfolk, including Sembrica, Snaptalon, and also Observer, Akari Tensum. And they are engaged in some kind of energetic, like, quarrel, argument, debate, something like that, with a group of Haren. There are maybe 3 rabbit folk standing in front of them, sort of gesticulating and trying to sort of look like they're kind of convincing them of something. And you can see in the further off in the village, like, or behind them, there's a much larger group of maybe about like 15 of these Haren. And you think you can even see some further off, standing amongst the trees at the outskirts of the village.
That looks pretty intense. What language are they speaking? The same language between themselves, the Owlfolk and the Haren?
That's a good question.
Do I know that they understand each other, or they're trying to convey a message and they don't?
Maybe the one that is gesticulating wildly, you can see he has a sort of a mark drawn on his forehead with charcoal, and looks to be some kind of wizardy type. And if you focus on them, you can hear... I'm just trying to think. Yeah, and you can hear them. It sounds like they're speaking in Stygian, in the Owlfolk language. At least this individual is, and he's then relaying whatever he's he's hearing from the observer, from these Owlfolk, kind of relaying that in the rabbit folk language to some of the people that are standing by him. It's difficult for you to hear exactly what they're saying from the distance that you're at.
I'll definitely move forward as well. And even us, Zembrika, what's happening? What's the... what's going on with the Haren?
As you step over, several of these herons see you, and they draw weapons and like step back, like, oh, and they look like very surprised and ready all of a sudden for action. And they sort of look between you and the Owlfolk, and Zembrika like turns to you, and says like,
"Oh, they're asking for. They want us to see if they can stay here."
Oh, interesting. Did something happen to their lands? Were they refugees of some type?
There's been a battle to the east. Apparently they're being chased. But the observer has told them they can't stay here.
Are they being chased by the Suskin?
I'm not sure. I think so. I can't understand them. Only this one here. He's got some kind of magic. It allows him to speak our language. Different from the pendant that you all seem to be using.
Yeah, I'll relay that information on as well.
Do you think they were pushed from Yalnikishla?
Yeah, they seem to... Yalnikishla, is that... that's what they call it, isn't it? I think so, yes. There's been some sort of battle there.
The Ekin have taken it back. It's probably wise to keep them away. It might draw the Ekin here.
Yes, that's what the observer's worried about. We have yet managed to remain independent from the forces of the Suskin and the Ekin.
I
She
believe,
turns back to the observer and says,
This is... they can't stay here. He's like, I know.
I believe we were told at Verdalade that you've remained hidden for this long.
Yes, we're only a small community in the middle of the forest. They've yet to come across us. We've been having some serious discussions for some time about what we should do. But so far, everything's been okay, and we've believed that Vraka will protect us. And it has remained peaceful, at least for the time being. Maybe eventually we will have to sit down with them. These pig folk.
We can help if you'd like.
How can you help?
We can try and talk to these Haren on your behalf. With the observer, of course.
Oh, what would you say?
Well, we could explain your situation and the fact that you have remained hidden, and that they may very well be leading the Ekin to you and themselves in the process. Might help them understand.
Yes, that should be my guest.
Okay. So I will again hide the claw, maybe. We're just like, put that aside. Maybe hide up behind my shield as I'm walking. Just kind of keep my weapons up and away. But I might walk over to join the observer. I'm assuming I've picked up the pendant to have this conversation anyway. But
yeah, but as you step over there, these Haren, again, they're like stepping back, like raising their shields and their swords, and you can hear them like talking amongst themselves. If you focus on them, they're like,
It's the
It's the mercenaries. The foreign mercenaries. They're in league with the Owlfolk. We can't stay here. Oh no. What do? We've nowhere to go.
I'll sort of raise my hand and rather than shout, I'll just kind of indicate that I'm not there to cause harm. But as I approach, I'll just say, yes, I believe we are the group you're thinking of. We're not here to cause harm to you. But then you have been asked not to stay here for a reason. We don't wish to fight. We only ask that you leave peacefully.
The observer
and not draw
kind
the
of
Ekin to you.
turns to you. Is like, what are you saying? What are you saying to them?
I'll kind of turn and translate.
He's like, yes, exactly. You can't stay here. We don't have the space. They kind of talk amongst themselves. They look very stressed out and concerned. If you continue to focus on them, one of them's like, it's no good. We have to make it for Haren. We have no choice.
And I will...
Another one's like, shh. They're like,
Quick, we should get out of here. We can't stay here, obviously. Especially not with them.
I will turn to them though and just kind of say very, very calmly, we wish you luck. We don't wish harm. But if you draw the Ekin here, this whole town could be in danger. Please, hurry.
they kind of look at you a little bit awkwardly and sort of step back and sort of speak amongst themselves. And then one of them sort of turns back to you and the observer and says, well, good luck. Thank you anyway. We'll be leaving then. And sort of three of them head back to the group behind them of 15, and all of them turn around warily, many of them holding their swords and spears, and they head back to this larger group on the outside of town. And you can watch as this group marches around the edge of Treehollow Towers, some of them kind of cutting across on the edge, and they appear to then head in a southwesterly direction, and soon enough disappear into the forest. And the
I'll just head
observer
back to the
turns to you
group
and
and
he's like, thank you for your help. I wasn't sure they were going to listen. We definitely couldn't have them here.
I understand. We've run into a group of them before. I believe they might be scared of us, which might have helped. And I'll kind of call over the rest of the group and kind of relay what just happened.
You really have a way with them.
Yeah, negotiation tactics are one of my strong suits. And then I'll bring out the claw and just kind of wiggle it a little bit.
Ooh, so powerful.
No, they would have drawn too much attention. Plus, a skirmish here after Vindaros's visions of the place might have just made this worse. Not sure if that was the danger or if there's something else, but might help that they're not here to cause problems. No, take off the pendant and just kind of offer it back to Vindaros, since this is his mission.
We're all in it together. How about we finish off that Shallow?
Oh yes,
If we
please.
can.
Yeah, as many of these Owlfolk begin to rouse from the night and do various chores and activities, you can head back to the Temple to Vrakar, and Alistair will let you back in, and he's quite happy for you to stay the rest of the night there, or sleep in for another couple of hours, and you can finish your long rest. and wake up well rested when the sun is like a little bit higher in the sky, and come back out and kind of find this village is much more there's much more activity going on. Everyone's woken up and everything.
I'm assuming that we'll be sitting around also having breakfast. And just talking about what happened last night, and maybe we should check in on Melody as well. See how she slept.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm a bit wary to drop the undead word around. Or the Z word. Yet.
Yeah, so you can head over to her the tower where she said she was on the 3rd level up. It was the 3rd level. And there is maybe just a leather flap over the door at the base of this one, and you can go in there. Maybe as you're going in, you just sort of nearly bump into an Owlfolk that's like on his way out. Oh, beg your pardon.
Morning.
Are you coming in here?
Yes. Melody, 3rd floor.
Oh, Melody. Yep, 3rd floor. Well, good morning to you. He continues on his way. And you can head into this tower, this circular chamber at the bottom. And there is a spiral staircase in the middle. Maybe this lower room just has like a bench in it. Kind of a couple of like seats sort of encircling the chamber around the outside, but you can like head up this central spiral staircase in the middle, and it after you head up this first section, it becomes like enclosed, so you're kind of like walking up the middle of this tower, and there's like a door on the 1st level and the 2nd level, or probably also just a leather flap, and you can reach the 3rd level and kind of peer in, draw the flap apart, and you see this this chamber made out of wood, and it's just littered with various things, just mats on the floor, and a bunch of possessions, and like a low table for eating, and just various stuff. And as you peer in, you can just hear this like snoring sound.
Is that Melody?
Sounds like she had a quite decent sleep.
Maybe we should leave her be.
She deserves to sleep in. After months of sleepless nights.
Back away stealthily.
You definitely don't wake her up as you back away. You would have seen in this chamber as well, probably from the angle that you come in, you can kind of see out onto this balcony that juts out from the side of the tower. Each of these little abodes would have a balcony like that. But yeah, you can quietly head back down the stairs and head out through the door at the bottom.
Vindaros, would it be a good idea to maybe try and communicate with Brackar? To understand if we've thwarted this darkness, or where we might find it?
We could try. Last time we had an offering with back in the compound.
Well, what was that?
Oh,
It was chicken, wine, and incense.
Incense, yeah. I think it was charcoal, maybe.
Yes, maybe.
Oh, I got incense.
Well, I'm sure we could find something to sacrifice. We could ask about some wine and some charcoal. Potentially we could call upon... oh my goodness, I've forgotten his name.
Raka.
Alistair Puniji.
Alistair. Yes, Alistair. To assist with calling upon Raka, maybe? I don't know how it works. I'm sorry, I might be asking silly questions. But if anyone would know how to call upon him, maybe he could help?
Yes, it's definitely worth a try. To see if it... to give us some more guidance. Yeah, and that hill that we were on last night, definitely... I don't know. It seemed like the source, maybe where the battle was fought many hundreds of years ago, and
Maybe it's a
maybe
good
it's the way.
place for the ritual.
Yeah, I kind of want to investigate that stone.
Maybe if we ask the Alistair, the observer, maybe to gather those items, and then while he's doing that, we can go investigate the stone and come back. Gives him some time.
Maybe we could bring it with us if the stone's not too big. Maybe we could keep it with us while we think about things. Perhaps we might have more things revealed to you that way.
That might be a good idea to check on Mardyn as well. Just make sure he hasn't...
That he didn't
gotten up
wake.
again.
He's not restless.
Yep.
So Martin then stone. Okay.
So you're gonna head to the graveyard? Okay, so you can head over to the hill with scattered trees on it where the graveyard is, and pass through this arched gate, and follow the path up this hill, yeah, you find all of these stone obelisks of varying sizes, and you can hear this sound of wind chimes again. And you can quickly make your way over to the side of the hill near this tree where you buried Mardyn. And the scene looks much the same as it did previous night. I say actually that it would still be raining, but now it's just a very light sprinkle of a rain. But you don't see any change here. Just this pile of dirt where you've reburied Mardyn. Everything looks calm.
Do I feel any undead energies?
You don't get any particular feeling.
He is at rest.
That's a good thing. No more Martin parties.
Alright, shall we check out this stone then?
Yes, let's go.
Alright, so you can head down the other side of this hill with the graveyard on it, and walk through the forest some way and find this infrequently used dirt trail that heads up this next hill. And you can follow it up and find this hole that you dug the previous night on the side near the top of this hill, overlooking the village. You can turn around and see the sights that Melody recommended. And in the rain, there's a bit of mist amongst these hills, but it's still a nice sight from up here. And there's a cool wind blowing through your furs, or your leathery skins, whichever you've got. And you can crawl down into this hole if you wish and look at this big stone, which again, it looks like you can only see a very small amount of this stone. The rest of it disappears into the earth.
Can I start uncovering more of the stone, and I will recruit Leaf to also move some dirt with me.
I do have a shovel
Oh,
that we could use.
that's a good idea.
And I got a dread claw for like more finicky sort of fine details.
Oh, very good, very good. Okay.
What I might do actually while we're doing this, before we get it to digging, what I might do is cast Detect Evil and Good,
Okay.
which will allow me to see anything not so great around us. I think it's a 6-meter radius.
Yeah, okay, so you can reach out with your mind and try to, sort of in tune with the goodness and the evil that might be in your surrounds. You don't get any particular sense of anything as Vindaros begins digging with this shovel and clearing away some of the dirt around this stone. Nothing jumps out at you. You don't think there are any undead within 6 meters. And as you dig, Vindaros, and a twig is also kind of... you clear more of this stone away, and as you clear it away, you can see that it begins to take on an arch-like shape. The stone curves round and then kind of disappears into the earth. And the more you dig, you dig down quite far. You begin to, I guess you kind of knock some dirt in, and it like kind of like falls through this crevice, this hole, and you can see that below this large arch, as you begin kind of scraping away underneath it, there is some kind of chamber under there. There's a big empty space.
Well, how big's the opening to get underneath it into the chamber at the moment?
You're just uncovering it, so you can continue to dig if you want to try to like fit into there.
Yeah. Do I smell or hear anything from this underground area?
No. Nothing in particular, just the smell of earth. But as you dig down a little bit further, you hit another stone, like, and you begin to sort of form a picture in your mind of what is going on here. It looks like this is some sort of archway, like a doorway, and there is a stone covering at the front of it, like a door, like a big stone door. But the top of it appears to have crumbled inwards into some sort of space. And so there is maybe like 1/2 meter sized gap at the top where you can kind of put your shovel in there, and there's nothing in there. It's just this pitch black chamber inside. But it feels like you're at the top of this archway. You can kind of reach your hand into the darkness and feel downwards, and there's no dirt in there. Just this empty space.
Can I shine a torch, light a torch, and have a look what's in the chamber?
Yeah, you can light another torch. Make sure you remove
I'll
it
burn
from
it
your
now.
inventory. if you hold the torch through this hole, you can see inside this chamber. It's a pretty decently sized chamber, like maybe, I don't know, 3 by 3 meters, something like that. You think you can see leading further into, you're looking down from the top of this, essentially you think it's like a doorway into this chamber. The first thing you see actually is what looks like a statue in the center of this chamber. It's some kind of winged owl-like creature in a hood, holding an empty bowl. You can shine the torch in here, you think it's like some kind of angel. You don't think it depicts Vrakar, you think it's maybe an angel of Vrakar, you're not really sure. And behind it there is another archway, also with a stone seal, a big stone door, blocking away. And otherwise you can see that around this room there are carvings in the walls. Maybe even the remnants of paint. It looks like there were some murals on these walls. And you can see, even from where you are, that it looks like they depict some kind of battle. You can see snake folk and owlfolk, and maybe even this shining paladin with a bronze sword, owlfolk paladin, on the wall.
Was there another door? Sorry, did you say?
Yeah. So it's kind of like you're looking through the front door from the top of the door where a piece of it has crumbled inwards, and you can see into this chamber. And at the other end of the chamber, there is another archway that is sealed past this statue that's in the middle of the room.
And I still have nothing triggering my spell. Okay.
Nothing triggers.
Okay.
Is it safe to go in?
You want to sit in Leaf to do like a flyby first?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Be careful, Leaf.
If Leaf like flaps around in this chamber, like you don't get a sense that there's any immediate danger in here. It kind of just flaps about and sort of perches on this statue and kind of looks around. Do you look through its eyes, or do you just...
Yeah, I wish to look.
Yeah, if you look through its eyes, you can see. The only thing you see other than what Vindaros would have described to you is at the top of the second archway, you see some sort of symbol. It is a symbol it is this stylized dagger with wings and a circle above it that looks like it's both a knife and maybe an angel with its wings spread out. And you would have interacted with Vindaros already. Well, I don't know if he's told you about this symbol, but you would see this symbol through the eyes of Leaf. You also see, just more of these designs, pictures. You see symbols of some kind on the door as well and on the walls. Sort of between some of these murals, there are kind of borders of like sigil, glyph-like things everywhere, and all over the door as well.
Would I recognize any of them, or would they give me a feeling of like magical energy?
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Oh.
They look very old to you, very strange. They're worn away. You can't get a sense of what they would represent.
I think it looks alright inside. I'm gonna get in. Anyone coming?
Yeah, let's tie off a rope. Maybe around one of these stumps.
Alright.
And then we can
As long
pass
as you
through.
say it's safe, Twig, good enough for me.
Excellent.
I'll use my rope and secure it to something nearby that seems sturdy enough to hold us.
Oh, there was a tree, I think. Right.
Yeah, there's probably a tree near enough, but close enough by that you can tie a rope around. You can lower yourselves into the chamber. There's just enough space. Vindaros, maybe you get a little bit stuck on the way in. Do you all climb into this chamber?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
we're not leaving one behind and getting shut out again.
We go together.
We've learned our lesson from last time.
You can climb down into this chamber.
Ooh.
And you can just hear this eerie sound of the wind blowing through this hole that you've created. It's only about 2 meters down. It's a pretty low ceiling in here. This statue in the middle of the room is relatively small.
Is there anything in the bowl?
No, empty.
Does anything happen if I pour some water in it?
Do you use one of your water skins?
Hmm.
Nothing happens when you do that. It just fills up with water.
Was
I wanna put one of my rations in it. But I don't know if herbivore rations are the right choice.
I'm
gonna do it.
Yeah, you can see now that you're looking at it more closely, looking into its hood, that it is a beaked Owlfolk-like creature.
Is there any engravings or writing around the base of this statue in the middle? Sorry, was that on a pedestal, this statue, as well?
Yeah, just a small base, circular base. It's not very high up or anything like that. You can easily step up onto it.
Yeah, I was more looking to see if there's any engravings around it. Writings.
Yeah, you do see these symbols engraved on the walls and on the door. I think actually probably on the statue, probably not. You don't see any writings on the statue.
Okay.
Well, but maybe what you do see is that you see around the neck of this statue is engraved into the stone is it looks like the statue is wearing a necklace, and this is just part of the statue. It's not an actual necklace. Carved out of the stone at the end of this necklace is another one of these symbols that the Owlfolk use to represent Vrakar.
Okay.
Is there an opening somewhere in this door?
That's a second arch. That's the big archway with a big stone slab in it.
Oh, okay. It's got a big stone slab.
Yeah, and it's covered in these symbols. And also above it, at the top of the arch, is another symbol of Vrakar.
Feel like if we try and open it, something might happen.
I'm kind of standing like off to the side of this statue, and I'm like holding out some rations, and I'm like, should I put it in? Okay, and I just drop it in, and I like jump back. Does it do anything?
What type of ration is it?
I've got a herbivore ration, so that's what I'm using.
You just end up with a soggy ration floating in this water.
Ready gets out some of the spices stuff.
Put the
Adds
weird
the
mushrooms in.
Maybe it requires a sacrifice.
Yeah, well, maybe we need some meat. Twig, do you have any rations?
Let me have a look.
I'll take my rations out and just kind of put it back in my bag. Kind of soggy. Still gonna keep it.
I do have this here carnivore ration. I will suspiciously put it in the bowl.
You also just end up with a soggy carnivore ration.
Ah, nerds.
It's just like floating around in the bowl.
I'm gonna take it back and wipe it on my
Is there any drafts coming from along these walls as well? So I'm looking for any like hidden sections or loose stones and.
Yeah, give me a perception check if you try to walk along and sort of touch the walls and hold out your hand and see if you can feel any drafts.
Because I would assume because it's such an enclosed space as well, will be a bit more noticeable.
You don't find anything like that. It seems pretty airtight in here.
Oh. This might be the only way.
What was on the actual door itself?
Just a whole bunch of symbols carved into the rock. Strange, ancient-looking symbols. And then the symbol of Rakar is on the arch at the top.
Reddy's gonna ladle his water back into his water skin.
It's now slightly meat and veg flavored from the rations.
You can definitely do that and have your water skin refilled.
Flavor.
It's like, It's good for the video content.
It's a really bad soup.
Maybe I'll use this later. Is Raka the kind to... Oh, actually, I'm not speaking very good Savannah. Is Vindaros wearing a pendant?
Yes.
Is Raka the kind to like blood sacrifices? Offerings? I mean...
He does like vengeance.
Maybe if you hit me and then I hit you back.
Open palms.
I just kind of grab my dreadclaw and just kind of like point it at my arm and go, should I just I don't mind.
What would... I'm just trying to think. What would Vindaros know of Raka from his village or his tribe?
I think there would be general knowledge across all lands probably that the gods they thrive and ascend through worship. Before they're worshipped, they kind of come out of the world and they're sort of clusters of energy, but they thrive off worship, and so this would be something you would probably feel that any god wants to be worshipped in some way, wants to have some sort of show of devotion or something like that. Vrakar himself, in terms of like what would he want from you, I mean, nothing else that would occur to you that hasn't occurred, that wouldn't necessarily just occur to you as a player, I think.
Okay. Because I'm trying to think, if it was in his tribe, what would he offer Raka? Would it be like an offering of incense? Would it be goods?
Yeah, I think probably the way that you would pray to Vrakar is maybe some sort of offering, and also some sort of prayer, some kind of expression of faith or something like that, or servitude, even obedience.
In thinking about it, can he ask Right-Heel Twig if they have any spare incense as well that
Yes.
we could burn?
Yes.
If I could lightweight it in the bowl and also take the neen off a ration at the foot of the statue as well. Do that, or even put some of the wipe the bowl clean of water, put incense, light it. Probably ask Yao Mei to light it with his torch, and put a herbivore ration in there as well, and just take a knee and in reflection.
What do you think, or what do you say?
He'll be thinking to Raka, I've heard your word, I've taken your call, I'm here to do your work, give me guidance.
As you finish that thought, a little bit of dirt kind of falls from the ceiling, like, and then the room shakes a little bit, like suddenly, just like an earthquake passes through the room. And all of these sigils on the walls and on the door, they light up brightly with like red, with a red glow, and they kind of flicker, and then it fades again. And all of a sudden, Twig, you're standing by this door. This huge crack just goes through the door. And when this happens, Yao Mei, you all of a sudden, almost immediately, as soon as this crack runs through the door, get this strong feeling that there is a strong undead presence emanating from the door, or perhaps somewhere beyond the door. The door isn't destroyed, but this crack goes through it.
Or might just like tap Vindaros and be like, the door's bad. Bad door. The siren's perfect timing.
Bronze Age sirens.
Well, sirens have gone off in Yao Mei's head for sure.
Yeah.
That's the sound his head's making. I think there's something behind it that we should be worried about. And for everyone else will just kind of point at the door.
Ready to cast Shillelagh. Enjoy.
Swords out, on fire, ready to go.
Yes, Vindaros will stand up as well.
Also, Vindaros, is it you that's holding the torch?
Yes, initially, yes. In his trunk trunk.
I also have my sword, which is flaming, so there's a
Okay.
bit of extra light.
I'll give both of you as if you're holding a torch. I had a light on in here, assuming that we would have a torch on. Okay. So, ready cast Shillelagh. You pull out your flaming sword. What else do you do?
Vindaros, has his shield out now.
Twig
Okay,
has
thanks,
cast
yeah.
Major Armor and moves away from the door.
Vindaros will make his way to the door. Can he... Does it say push on it or pull on the door? He doesn't really grab me.
You don't see
Nothing
any
worse
handle.
than pushing a full door.
Don't say anything. He'll push.
Nothing happens.
Ah, it's a pull door.
Oh, it's a pull.
Is there a handle you
No,
can
there's-
use leverage on to pull?
No handle.
Damn.
It's just like a big, thick stone slab now with a crack through it.
Should we try and like pry it open?
No, Twig, did you want to have a look at the ruins, the runes that lit up? Did you have a look at them before?
I think I had a look at them before, but if you're willing to wait 10 minutes, I can try and real hard to understand what they say. Okay, if people are alright with that, I'm gonna take a bit of soot from the burnt incense. That counts as soot. And a pinch of salt. I'm gonna cast Comprehend Languages as a ritual.
Okay.
And I'm gonna, after I do that, I'm going to touch the wall and try and understand.
Okay, so there are two different things going on the wall. There is some actual script. It is telling a story. It sort of runs along through these murals, and it just sort of narrates, like the evil snake people came to destroy all that is good. But the great paladin, the great Owlfolk paladin, what was his name again? Talis Raddik rose up to face him, inspired by the great god Vrakar, and defeated the evil snake devil Zuzesu. And here is the tomb of Talis Raddik, the honorable, never to be forgotten in these lands. And the other thing that you see is not language, it is sigils of some kind, some sort of arcane glyphs. And it's not so much a language that you can read.
We are in the tomb of a hero, guys.
I'm so glad you said that. I just had a second thought for a minute that said, do not open. And we're just about to open.
I was gonna say.
Another one of those signs, was it?
I was gonna say we've learned to read the signs before we do the silly thing. It's great.
We're only halfway open the door.
We only tried to push it gently, Vindaros. Calm down. It's fine.
I don't see anything. Sorry, go on.
Is there space behind the slab? Like, is there another room? Does it seem like?
Hard to know. How would you know?
I poke my quarterstaff through this crack, or is it too thin?
Oh, it's too thin.
Okay.
It's just a crack running through the...
Yeah,
it looks like the door has been sort of weakened.
I could send in Bat Leaf as Rat Leaf.
A rat wouldn't fit through the crack.
The
either.
crack? Spider Leaf.
Tiny little snake.
Will a spider or a snake fit?
An earthworm.
You might have to try to find out.
Ooh.
Another centers one? I know those.
Maybe I will try a spider. Like, it's just like a crack.
It's just a crack. It's like,
Alright. I'll
it's
turn
not a
Leaf-
hole.
I will turn Leaf into a spider.
Okay.
And, go Leaf, go into the crack.
Leaf the spider is not able to fit through the crack.
Okay. Wait, that costs a spell slot, doesn't it?
I forget how that works.
Oh.
Where is it?
Action.
Oh yeah, an action or bonus action. Oh yeah, you can use a spell. You have to use a spell slot to do that.
Ah, I see. Dang. Okay.
But I think we have to say that you did that because now you know that the spider can't fit through the crack.
That is true. Okay. Let me use a spell slot.
I have a spider. It's really big. It feels too big. Anyway.
Tarantula.
Very ready eyes. Leaf and licks his lips.
Leaf, come here, quick.
Hey, Yao Mei backs away.
Is there any chance anything happened back up there?
Back up where?
Upstairs. I was asking Twig and
Oh, right.
Vindaros.
Upstairs, like.
Maybe if the door's been weakened, it's maybe just a bit of force.
Do it.
But do we want to? I don't know. Do we want to destroy a tomb entrance?
Right. It seems that this is what Draka wants you to do.
And it's clearly awake. I mean, I can feel it. Has it been 10 minutes? I assume it's been 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Since I
definitely.
cast
Because
that.
Twig had to cast that ritual as well.
Yeah, cool. So then I would be like, I felt it. And I'm gonna take that spell.
In the what's it called? The toolkits. Okay, I was just seeing if there was. Just trying to work out what I can use to. To some force somebody store.
I could help you.
I don't. I'm just trying to work out what to use. Can Vindaros use the bronze pickaxe on the door?
Yeah, if you do that, give me an attack.
Okay, and I'll tell people stand clear.
And so it'll just be an improvised weapon, just a melee attack.
Okay. Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Your pickaxe just kind of almost bounces off the, you fail to do much damage with it. The sound echoes very loudly in this room.
Okay.
What if we all push? Oh,
May as well try.
okay.
If all of you push on the door, give me a athletics check. Anyone who pushes.
Yeah, I'll be pushing.
There's space for ready as well.
Yes.
Yeah, you can do that as well.
Oh.
Oh no. Oh no, we do badly.
I'll use my inspiration.
Yeah, you can do that.
I don't know if it's worth it, but I said it. I'll do it.
Yeah. I score.
Retty is the strongest one of us all.
You push on this door, all of you together. It just... You hear like maybe a slight kind of creaking sound, but you're just not able to muster enough force to push it. It feels like a very big, heavy stone slab.
I tried to intimidate the slab. I'm kidding. Is there anything else? Could we pry it open with the pick, Vindaros? Kind of get behind one of these pieces and just kind of wedge a bit of this open. Well, if you use the pick and get into the crack, maybe we can sort of crack it open that way. I know you tried to hit it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think if we... Yeah, possibly if I can even pass you a bronze javelin. If you use a javelin and I use the pick. See if we can like wedge it underneath the door, lever it, and someone picks it from the crack and make it bigger and twists it.
Yeah, we can try that. We've got the shovel too. Maybe that can help to do that third thing.
Oh, sorry.
Anyone who wants to attempt to damage the door or lever the door, give me an attack. A melee attack roll.
Help out.
Yeah.
Nice. Vindaros, give me some damage.
Cool.
Yao Mei, you're not really able to do much, unfortunately. Ooh.
I'm not familiar with the javelins.
Yeah, ready. Give me some. Give me a crit.
Oh.
What do we got? So 6 and 7. Oh, nice. Twig, you're not able to do much, but Reddy, and Vindaros, as you begin kind of hacking at this wall and attempting to get the pickaxe in there and sort of kind of chip away at it, eventually like pieces of this wall, the door begin kind of dislodging and coming off from the stone. And as you make some progress and kind of chip away at it, the whole thing begins to like, these cracks spread throughout the door, and you can keep hitting it, and eventually the whole thing just like crumbles inwards into this dark chamber beyond.
At the same time, Vindaros just internally just apologizes to Raddik for disturbing his tomb.
And as the dust settles and you peer in here holding this torch forth with your trunk, you can see in the darkness this long hall that appears to have a number of pews in it. That's what it looks like from behind. Somewhere down the other end there is some sort of podium, some sort of structure or something like that. And in the gloom it's kind of difficult for you to see as you sort of lean in. You can see something on the ground to your left, and you think you see another stone door over here on the left. But as you peer in, you think you see disturbingly almost what looks like the silhouette of somebody sitting in one of these pews. And as the dust clears, you hear something shifting and moving about in there, as it looks like this person, whatever they are, that is sitting in this pew, like stands up and emerges from the darkness, steps into your light, and begins moving in your direction. And this is a skeleton, but it has these also skeletal wings on its back. And it is clearly the skeleton of an Owlfolk that begins shambling towards you. And you can also hear the sounds of movement coming from elsewhere in this chamber, echoing about. And you feel pretty certain that there are other things in here as well that begin stepping in your direction. And let's call it there for the night.
Oh dear. Well, I think we found his tomb. We gotta go tell them once we kill him again. That's gonna be a fun conversation. So we found your idol, your paladin friend, and we killed him again. And we kind of destroyed the doorway to his tomb, and killed his friends. Had a great time. You wanna come see?
No. Yes, they must know. They must know that we are fearsome mercenaries.
You must tell them. We shall kill their gods.
And replace them with ourselves.
Well, Twig, you are a troll god, so...
I'm a troll god?
Well, didn't you meet trolls and proclaim to be their god?
Oh, yes, yes, I am a troll god. Yeah, true. I forgot.
I was actually thinking that stone to begin with was one of those plates that their first aberrant was in.
Oh,
Yeah, and
yeah.
then when we stood on it, we got transported. I thought it was the base of that. One of those.
Ooh.
Like the one the statue was on.
We open the door and then Twig is like, yeah, I can read this.
Well, I'm just looking forward to us releasing another aberrant through this whole process. And then there'll be 3.
Note to self. Third aberrant.
The trilogy.
Yeah, you did well. You managed to find the entrance to the tomb of whatever his name is, Talis Raddik. So yeah, have some XP, and it was it was very cool that you were in the village at the time when the Haren came through. Because there's kind of things going on in the world that I have a calendar and they tell me when they happen. And I saw in the lead up to the session, like, ooh, like if they're kind of there at the right time, these things might intersect.
Spill over.
I love that, cool. Especially because it does make the world feel like stuff is still happening.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not just us doing stuff and everything around us that we're not interacting with this like static. It feels like, oh shit, yeah, there is like political tension, and oh yeah, there is this like battle that happened a few weeks ago, and that does make sense that they'd be having skirmishes and stuff would be happening as a result of that. It's awesome.
Yeah, I was pretty pleased that I had an opportunity to do that. That was cool.
And I also thought it was fun that they knew who we were, and that we could use that to convince them to fuck off.
Yes, the foreign mercenaries. They were well renowned.
But killing a bunch of Haren.